Overwatch.
What's up, guys? Welcome to SpawnCast episode. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say 54. I can't remember which episode. That's what Evan's job is to come in with the episode number, and I don't remember what episode it is currently. So we're gonna go with 54. It's probably 55 more than likely, or it's 53. We're gonna go with 54 though. I am joined by quite a few people here, and then we're also waiting on one other person who may join in randomly in the middle of this. So when they pop up, you'll see them. But we are, of course, joined by probably the best person for some of these topics, because I know he's very excited about one in particular, and that is Max, Dreamcast guy. How are you doing tonight?
I'm better than I've ever been. Hashtag Shenmue saved. Years of hoping and praying, man. Oh, it's a good day to be on the SpawnCast.
Yeah. Yes, I was going to say, I thought you'd be like extra excited about it, so I figured he'd be through the roof about it. And then we have Sean, who just got done yelling at the camera about Sega's frustrating, I guess, move for a manufacturer for the Genesis Mini
camera. Look at this, fancy.
Oh, you do have a new camera. That's right.
Fancy. I still can't figure out why we'll have to talk after this stream because my background's still blurry. But yes, yeah, AT Games. At games. Wow. Also, if you're not subscribed to me, I'm totally 5 subs away from 93K. So make that happen.
Nice. All right. We can do that. And then someone who's actually had a bit of a resurgence on, I would say, on YouTube at the recently. You seem to be making more videos now, Dave.
Yeah, I'm having actually a lot of fun just uploading more content. I'm excited getting more deeper things, like analysis videos, stuff I was doing like in 2016. So it's been going pretty well. And I dove into that patent that, that came out yesterday for Nintendo, and that kind of a new screen, 2 screens communicating patent. And that was pretty cool. So check that out. And I don't know, just having a lot of fun, and I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty fun. I think we have quite a few things actually to go over. We are one person down, like I said. I'm not sure when they're coming by or jumping in, so we might have to have an emergency cast member.
Congrats on 100K, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it was very fun. That was a fun stream actually to have. So watching it count down or count up, I guess. Yes, it was a lot of fun though. Okay, he said he's actually the one of their other guests saying they're having technical issues. They're trying to sort them out. So I might look into pulling another person in as an emergency guest. So cool. All right. So what's everyone playing? Anything good before we get into some of the topics?
Extinction. Game of the fucking year.
Yeah, man. I played that a couple weeks ago. God, it's so bad. That was so bad.
It was like I just couldn't believe the lack of presentation for a $60 game. It's like I've played Genesis and Super Nintendo games that
the weirdest thing about that game is that it establishes ideas that it never follows through on. Like the fact that climbing up ogres could be cool, except for the fact you keep getting stuck on like ball sacks and up in their armpits. There's a talent tree. But
jumping up like climate character is very tough. You're right.
Yeah, everything about that. The grapple hook just grabs you to a random nearby thing. So if you use a grapple hook in the middle of the city, sometimes you'll shoot the exact opposite direction of your objective. There were so many things wrong.
And it's $60.
Yes. If it were $20, I feel like I might have given it like a 6, but since it's $60, I give it a 4.
The game looks fun actually for like maybe 5 to 10 minutes. And then I saw your video, John, and it looked kind of repetitive. But at first I thought the movement looked kind of fun and the attacking looked kind of fun. But then I was like, okay, I think it's kind of...
I played that game for 9.5 hours to get my video done. You know how bad? So what's funny is my buddy came over, and sometimes my buddy will help me with reviews. And I was like, hey, man, just check out this new game. And it just got done installing. I was like, let's just play the opening couple levels together. And after literally the first 3 levels, he was like, hey, bro, I love helping you out, but can we play anything but this? Like,
it just wasn't fun because it got boring. Like, seriously, I did the video, and it was just basically one of the levels, and that's every level looks that way.
Later on, the only big twist is later on there's these flying enemies, and you can grapple hook on them, and so later on, and they fly around the ogre. So later on, there's stronger ogres, so you basically end up like swing around a bat, hit one of the stronger pieces of armor, swing around a bat, but still, it was so flat.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. It ran well. Like technically it was fine. It was like never really had any issues with frame rate or anything, and it looked good, but it wasn't fun. That's a classic case of good graphics, but not good gameplay and design.
On the brighter side, this week I decided to randomly beat Dark Souls 3 again, completely in co-op from start to finish. You can play that game co-op, and whoa, man, like it just makes me grow an even deeper respect for like all the Dark Souls games are just so brilliantly made, just so many hidden secrets and different bosses and so many tactics. It's just, man.
Are you getting ready for Dark Souls on Switch and everything?
Yeah. So I'm beating the trilogy in reverse. I'm doing 3, and then I'm going to do 2, and then I'm going to do 1. That way my memories of 1 are super fresh when I do Dark Souls Remastered.
Okay. Very nice. Yeah, that's going to be cool when that comes out. I don't even that's not for a little while though, right?
Yeah,
next month.
Yeah, a month or so. Yeah, a month and a half or so. Yeah. Okay.
Ironically enough, I've been playing lots of Sega Genesis on Raspberry Pi. Actually, ever since I saw Rich Review Tech his review of the flashback, I've been playing lots of that. And then when I saw this, I was like, "Oh, this is just perfect timing with the Sega to like yesterday." That's pretty cool.
Oh, I missed this. Master Chief Collection's coming to Game Pass.
Yep, I saw that earlier.
So now that it's done.
I seriously just put that up on Twitter a few days ago. That's awesome that they're doing that. That is completely worth it for Game Pass. That is all the Halo games in one.
I'm excited.
Do you guys already have that game?
Yeah,
I don't have it.
I actually bought the Master Chief Xbox, so that's
wow, man. Yeah. So at least your Xbox worked. The game didn't, but the Xbox.
Yeah,
did.
exactly. I remember when I bought it, I went in there and I went to 3 different GameStops trying to buy an Xbox One, and for some reason all of them were out of stock. And the third one I went to, I was like, "Do you just any kind of Xbox One?" And the guy was like, "Well, I have an Xbox One Master Chief." I was like, "That's Xbox. Just sell it to me. Why do you not understand this? You're not in stock if you have one."
Oh gosh, yeah. I played Masters of Anima, some indie games I was checking out, and I checked out what's the other Regalia, the tactics-based RPG that showed up on the Switch as well. And I'm still
like that.
It's very, very slow. Like going from I think it was about half an hour to 40 minutes before you get into the first battle, because it was a lot of dialogue and talking. It's a long time to get that game going. And then when you do start playing, I don't know, the tactics, it's definitely set up for a keyboard and mouse, because I know it's from Steam. You kind of see that as you're playing, but then when you beat a battle, it then takes another 20 to 30 minutes to get to the next one. It's not like Final Fantasy Tactics was much faster, right? You would have a little set piece that was 4 or 5 minutes at the most, and then you would be at the next battle, and this takes forever.
A lot of times, Final Fantasy Tactics is smart of every Final Fantasy Tactics starts with a battle. Let me show you the combat first, and then show you the politics of it, because those games are really deep. But I always hate when the games are that deep, and they start with a 30-minute cutscene. It's oh, okay, cool.
Fire Emblem did the same thing. I was actually playing Fire Emblem on the GameCube today for that HDMI adapter that I'm doing, and that instantly starts you off pretty much in a battle. So
love it.
It's is great. I've been playing a lot of GameCube games too.
How does it look on the HDMI adapter?
Oh, it looks great.
So good. Awesome. I think it's so awesome.
Let's say Sean has one too. I've been capturing video footage all day today, and then I was capturing HDMI and AV.
They said they were going to mail me one about a month ago, and I never got it. So maybe I'll just guilt trip them if they're watching this stream.
Rogue Squadron 2. What about Rebel Strike? How does that look on? Have you tried that?
I was playing Rogue Leader. The second one. I was playing the second one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It looks great. Honestly, it does. Mario Sunshine looks pretty good. Mario Sunshine, it's interesting because there's no actual anti-aliasing back then. You can see all the stair steps and everything, but it's very clear on a an LCD, an actual flat screen, compared to if you use the yellow, red, and white, even if your TV even has it anymore, because most TVs don't even have them. It looks way more blurry, but it doesn't actually change the image. So it doesn't change it from 480 to 1080. It just keeps it at 480p like the digital cables do. But it also adds in sound, because those digital cables don't have sound.
I remember Star Fox Adventures looked really good back then too. That might be a good one to try.
Oh, I should try that one too.
Luigi's Mansion and F-Zero were probably the 2 games where I was wow.
I think I've tested. I think I've recorded footage for 15 games so far. So I'm actually going to do a whole montage of all of these games, analog HDMI or RF HDMI, just back to back real quick. So you'll see hopefully about 20 games just in row. Boom. But I'll put that. You said Luigi's Mansion. That's one I think I already recorded one for that one. But what was the other one, Sean?
F-Zero.
I got that one too. I thought about that. I was I need to get F-Zero.
Yes.
Yes.
F-Zero looks amazing. I tried out a couple. Did you try out like non-progressive scan games as well?
Yeah, it doesn't actually change to progressive, but it still works.
Yeah,
I
like,
didn't try
it
that
looks
though.
a little better than what it would, without it. But yeah, it's definitely made with progressive scan games in mind. But what's interesting is like Luigi's Man, like I was just when I was going through my games, like I was just going through my physical collection, and I would just pull to the side games that said progressive scan on the back of the box. But like Luigi's Mansion doesn't say it has progressive scan, but when you start it up and you hold down B, it goes into progressive scan mode. That kind of pissed me off. I was like, good thing because I was just gonna try it just to see how it looks because I like the game. And then I just happened to try it, and I was like, shit, why didn't it say it on the back of the box? Like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, there's a whole list online that I've been going down. And I've been picking them out. Like I did Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4. That's progressive scan.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Yeah, it's quick. It's fast, right? So it's like any of the games that are really fast, I was like, I need to try to grab those. 3, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 is not, and none of the wrestling games are progressive scan.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of a shame because I was
like,
like,
Reckoning 2 was.
I thought the same thing. I don't see it on the list, and I was gonna try it because I have it. And I was like, oh, I'll pop in because like Day of Reckoning, I loved those games back in the day.
Yeah,
so I thought about it, but I guess not. But yeah, so I'm going through this. Fire Emblem is though. Fire Emblem actually looks really good through HDMI.
It kind of makes me want to buy like some more GameCube games,
doesn't it? Because it's like current now and it looks great.
Like it's mind blowing.
I have a huge GameCube collection purely by accident. I used to work at this used bookstore that would sell games as well, and everything was so cheap. So I just bought like every GameCube game was just $5. So I just bought everything. So I literally have like 60 GameCube games, and I never paid over $7 for any of them. Like,
what looks really good on GameCube is Soul Calibur 2. I think that does have anti-aliasing in it a little bit because the picture quality is amazing, even on regular TV. And
I'll add that one.
That's Soul Calibur 2 is fantastic, and
Eternal Darkness.
Eternal Darkness.
Yeah, I did Soul Calibur and Eternal Darkness in my video. Is it Beautiful Joe?
I have Beautiful Joe also. I'm doing that one too.
Freaking great.
I've done Paper Mario, Smash, the Tony Hawk, Fire Emblem, Metal Gear Solid.
Hit and Run? No shit.
The Game Boy Play. I played some of the Game Boy games on there.
That right now.
Mario Kart, of course, Mario Sunshine, Animal Crossing, 1080 snowboarding, Resident Evil 4, F-Zero. And then I have most of those other games too, actually.
Good God, Simpsons Hit and Run is expensive.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Well, they had
anything on the GameCube, man, is expensive now.
Well, and they had to stop printing after the lawsuit.
Soul Calibur 2. I'll look into Soul Calibur 2. I'm pretty sure Second Charles has that game. So I'll go pick that one. And then Rogue Leader.
We might have to go down there and go GameCube shopping.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, dude. It's awesome. It's nice.
And of course, Prime 1 and Prime 2. Prime 2 looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Yep. I have those over here too. I haven't done those ones I have in that book are ones that I've already recorded for, and then I have ones I've like basically I take them, record, and then put it over here. So it's like I have 2 books as I go, just so I make sure I have everything. And then I have to do it all over again for the RF signal. So it's a lot. I have a lot of files right now for recorded footage.
Gun as well. That would be kind of fun to play.
I should just go down that list and just get footage for every single game on that list.
No nuts.
That's what I should do. Just go big.
What was that GTA clone? True Crime. Remember that game?
Yep. True Crime Streets LA is on the list. Virtua Quest is on there too. That's actually a game I've never played, but I always wanted to since it's like Virtua Fighter RPG.
So
now we're gonna go play GameCube.
Yeah. This is the game.
Master Quest is on there, isn't it? Is it Master Quest on there?
Yeah. There's 4 total Zeldas for the GameCube. I have all 4.
Yep, Master Quest. I'm gonna have to go look at Master Quest. Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, it's $150, so it's not like a cheap accessory, but it makes the digital cables are that much, right?
They're $200.
No, they're more. They're
wow.
They're nearly $300.
And they don't carry sound, and they go to component.
Correct.
So it's like, there you go.
I tried to buy Virtual Quest next. That's a $70 game. Doing freaking great here. Doing freaking great.
Which game you said? Virtual Quest?
Yeah, it's like a weird Sega RPG that sort of takes place in the Virtua Fighter universe.
Oh, Skies of Arcadia is not. I tried that. That's not progressive, sadly.
Yep.
I wanted it to be so badly.
Sonic Gems collection is though, which would actually be pretty cool because it has like Sonic fighters on there and stuff.
Oh yeah! Wow, that's gonna take a long time to record all that footage, but it'd be worth it.
4 is on there.
Super worth it.
Sonic Adventure 1 and 2.
Yep. I got Sonic Adventure. Well, of course, Metal Gear too. That was in my video.
I see you, Rawgent Productions. We'll take questions, I think, at 10:30 before we finish up. I think that's what we're gonna do. So any super chats or anything, we'll save for there. I'll have it open in a separate tab, and we'll go down the list there. So thanks to Brian Glick as well, and we'll go through all of those questions at 10:30 p.m. So yeah. So if anyone's, I guess a small plug for what is it,
Castlemania games.
Castlemania games. They were pretty cool about it.
Sent
it out. Sent the stuff out for everybody to check out, except for Max apparently. And
Hey, if they don't want to make a video,
you're the one with the collection too, man.
I mean, my thing is, if people send me stuff, I make a video about it because I like to review hardware. And if they don't send it, then I don't make a video. It's their loss, and it's whatever. There's tons of other stuff to talk about.
That seems like it'd be perfect for you too, with all the stuff you have GameCube wise. So
just hit him up again, Ryan's super.
Yeah, he'll hook you up. He honestly got that out to me in like 2 days, and he's a pretty cool guy. So, I'll
his shit is just growing very, very fast, and he's literally a one-man operation who does this part-time.
So, but I'm gonna.
I've seen his garage. It's terrifying.
So I'm working on pretty much all week to get that video done. So it should be pretty cool because it's going to be just a ton of comparisons back to back with a little audio from me in the middle.
Now you're going to compare the old like standard definition with the adapter.
Yep,
Okay.
It'll be that, and then it'll do like the little wipe transition right to the 480p progressive through HDMI image. So
There you go.
all video. So it'll be pretty cool. It's going to be me talking at the beginning, then like probably 5 solid minutes of that, and then me talking at the end. So
I expect better than IGN quality from you. Okay.
yes, yes, that's the plan. So anything else anyone's been playing that we should know about? Anything good? Good?
Going back to Diablo 3 again, that's also great. But we all know about Diablo 3 that's a million years old.
That's it. It'll get a bit of a revival at E3.
Yeah.
Max, are you reviewing God of War?
Yes.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I should have my copy here on Monday morning. So my plan is to beat it before launch and have my video. And I want to do probably beat the game, and then I probably want to do a separate video talking about the story. Just because, you know me, I'm not really a fan of the God of War series, but I've beaten all of them, so I know the overarching themes of it. So I really kind of want to, like the same way I did back in the day with my Final Fantasy 15 video, where I did the review of it to tell you how much it's awesome, and then I did a separate breakdown of the story. I think we're going to do that again.
Nice.
I heard it was an average game at best.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah.
We'll go over some of that. I sent Sony an email, and they sent me a message back saying, "Who is this?" So I guess I won't see anything from them. No, I didn't hear back from him. I was expecting to be honest. Hey, look, Austin John Plays in the chat. What's up, man? Good to see you here. See, now you're not the one with the check mark anymore. So there you go. So a lot of stuff happened actually through this past week. We had a lot of talk about Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch. I assume some of you guys saw this kind of floating around throughout the week.
Project Beluga.
From what we've seen, this was based on what Pixelpar tweeted out, and I actually followed back up with them, and they are extremely confident. From what I can say that they told me, extremely confident as to this localization happening now. Pretty much 100%. So we are pretty much leaning on 2018 as a release, but people are now concerned, and I knew this was going to happen. Thanks, Austin. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. People are worried that Pokemon is going to be rushed because it's coming out in 2018. Does that concern any of you guys?
Has there first been any type of confirmation or somebody backing up that screenshot that came out? Because that's something to take in consideration too. If it's just a straight like upscale port type HD thing.
We haven't seen any confirmation about that screenshot from anyone like straight. Everyone keeps dancing around that screenshot, which is interesting. But what's really funny is one of the official Pokemon accounts, the Eevee account, kind of parodied, made fun of that by putting Eevee on the Lapras and taking a picture of it and everything. I think, believe it or not, I think we're actually going to get a direct before E3, and I think it's going to be the Pokemon company doing it. I think they want to do it. I think they want to show it themselves, from what I've heard. And I think we might actually see it possibly in May, which would be interesting. But really, the question at this point is, do we think it's going to be rushed? Do we think it's going to be an upscale? Because then people were sending me messages on Twitter that there was a Spanish magazine. Did you guys see this? It seriously happened an hour or two ago.
No, I didn't see it. What happened?
No, I saw a thing from this morning where somebody leaked that the project name is Project Beluga. But other than that, that's the official name of it so far.
Project Bologna?
Yeah, well, beluga, like a beluga whale, which is weird. So maybe that's sort of alluding to the fact that it is going to be pretty water heavy.
There is this was actually shared from what I've seen at 6:24 p.m. So about 3 hours ago, my time, from Annabella on Twitter. There is a Nintendo magazine that was published, I think today actually, and it's in Spain, I believe. And one of the passages in it talks about Labo. I think this might have been out maybe a little earlier than it should have, but it talks about Labo, of course, which, by the way, is being sold in stores early. I don't know if anyone's seen that.
I saw.
I was about to leave the hospital and go right to Walmart and be like, "Is there Labo here?"
It's funny because
isn't it getting stopped at the register though because of street date?
I don't know. They have it out with the sign up and everything.
I've seen at least one person buy it. I saw a picture someone posted of it's a shelf where clearly the display was made in a day, probably because it was in the back and taking up room. So there's literally an exploding shelf of Labo, and the guy has like a picture of him picking one up and the display like almost tilting over, and then him in the parking lot being like, "Yep, I got it." It's like,
yeah, here he is. Yeah, Austin did. He pointed it out too. Nintendo at a convention in Spain handed out a magazine that says 8th generation confirmed.
Huh.
I mean, I don't necessarily see. First and foremost, I don't necessarily think it'll be rushed. But let's be honest, they could pretty much shit in a box, write Pokemon on the side of the box, Pokemon Switch, and it'll sell, 1 billion copies anyways. Like,
here's the other interesting thing. The person that sent a message on Twitter translated it from what it said in the magazine. This is Jason Beck 19. So thanks to Jason Beck. Translates to, after a lifetime associated with portable consoles, the canonical Pokemon will take the leap to a table with its 8th generation. Game Freak and the Pokemon Company are rethinking the saga, surprise with new mechanics either in 2018 or later.
Well, if they got new mechanics, you got to think they'll be taking, the time they need to make sure everything works out. And it last E3, all we saw was a guy at his desk saying, "Oh, you caught me. I'm the art for the game." Yeah. I mean, wow. They don't have to release it this year, to be honest. I mean, take your time, make it a game.
I thought about it, and I was like, either it's not ready to show, or they didn't want to show it there, and they wanted to save it for maybe a more complete presentation this year. Mm-hmm. Or maybe Nintendo didn't want them to show it before that holiday because it wasn't going to be ready, and we had Mario Odyssey that holiday. So they didn't want to have Pokemon overshadow Odyssey. That's the only thing I could think of. Because I almost feel like they've been working on Pokemon for years almost now, this one. Yeah, either by another team or something. I don't know. People are saying it's rushed, but I don't think any of us know when they've actually started working on this game.
Well, how can a game be rushed if you haven't seen it? You know nothing about it. Like, shut up. Let it come out and then make your decision.
So I don't like the word rushed at all. I don't think it fits the scenario, but I will say that it does worry me if this is just a fancy port where they're taking Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon's engine, upscaling it and adding in new mechanics. That does not interest me at all. I want something different. So I'm just saying, as a casual Pokemon fan, what's going to get me to buy this is if it is fresh and new. And that's kind of what worries me the most is if any of these leaks, like screenshots or anything going around are real. Oh man, I do not want that. Personally.
I see a Matt in the room now. I think that might be direct feed.
Yes.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good to have you on. Do you want to let people in the chat know, I guess, who you are and what your channel is, just so they know?
Yeah, sure. Most people know me as Nate Drake. My channel is Direct Feed Games on YouTube and Twitter, and that's a nice, simple introduction.
Cool. Well, you do a lot of obviously, as the name says, direct feed footage, right? That's the big thing.
Yes. Yeah, basically.
Cool. Yeah, I see a lot of your comparisons actually kind of get passed around a lot too. You did the Outlast comparison for Outlast 2, right? On the Switch and PS4. Cool.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. Yep. Very cool. Very cool. We were actually talking about Pokemon on the Switch because it's like everyone wants to know what's going on with it. I don't know if you had any input on it. People are everyone's talking about it being localized now for 2018. So I don't really know where you kind of fall on that.
I definitely think 2018 is what's going to happen for Pokemon, but kind of as a Dreamcast guy was saying, I do think it's just going to be an updated view of what we've seen on the 3DS. We're not getting a brand new engine because it's not going to be a brand new generation. We're not going to Generation 9 of Pokemon. It's going to be a continuation of probably Generation 8. So we're not going to see that big leap just yet.
Okay. So it'll be an easy way to get, I guess, Pokemon introduced on the Switch at that point. And then I guess maybe when they make the big jump to the next generation, they'll really push it.
Basically, this will be the intro. This will be the nice little segue of let's get it onto Switch as soon as we can. It's not going to be a major release in the sense of it's going to be the next big thing. It's just going to be that nice little transition, almost like we'll call it like a remaster of sorts.
I'm going to be honest. That would actually get me interested in Pokemon again because to be completely honest, I cannot go to the 3DS is so hard to look at right now after using the Switch. To be completely honest,
would you say it's dead to you?
It's so hard. It's so hard to look at the 240p screen. It's so hard. And honestly, even Pokemon, from what I remember, the 3D doesn't work. I'm sure Austin John can chime in on this in the chat because he played a lot of Pokemon. That's like he's like an expert at it at this point on 3DS. You couldn't even turn the 3D on because it like taxed the system too much or something. It was crazy. So I mean, what if this comes out and it's like, listen, it's 1080, it's 60, and it's the version kind of that was on the 3DS, just looking better and everything. Because we already know that the character models that they were using is already in high definition type of They used high resolution.
Right.
Character
so
models.
It's easy to use the existing engine because it's already shaped for the high-res models. You already have it working. It'd be simple to just bring over to the Switch, and there you go. You build this new Pokemon game off the basis of the 3DS versions, and then you just wait another year or two to make that truly great Pokemon that people really want to see.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah, I know. I that's what I thought, Austin. Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon doesn't have 3D. That's what I thought I heard. I guess X and Y did, but they got rid of it. I remember I know the frame rate. People would complain about the frame rate as well on the 3DS version.
Yeah, I think it was 3D in the overworld, but the battles had 3D or it was something weird.
See, that's weird. When they start shifting between them, it's like
if I remember correctly, it was the battles that were 3D because my boss at the time was this huge Pokemon fanatic. He would play X and Y and he would turn the 3D on and be like, "They're coming out of the screen."
See, I'll be honest. If it is like a good running version of what we kind of already know, I would buy into that, and I think honestly a lot of people would. Pokemon sells 15 million, no sweat every time.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and it sells 3DSs because I remember when I was working in retail during, I think it was just regular Sun and Moon. 3DSs sold out. You couldn't find them. They were going for almost $300 online during that November and December. It was impossible to find. So they would sell quite a few Switches, I think, when Pokemon comes out.
That's an interesting topic because usually the systems that the Pokemon come out on are at a lower price point, whereas the Switch, if it's still at $299, it might be too high of a barrier for the typical Pokemon audience. So they might need either bundles or maybe a $50 price drop by the time Pokemon is released on the Switch.
That's a good point. Although I do know a lot of people who would come in would buy 4 or 5 copies of Pokemon, just because they have kids or one person wants both, so they buy $80 worth of games at the time. I
think the idea of a pack-in that definitely seems very likely because we saw it a lot with remember when the 2DS wasn't selling so great, they started to bundle and it was the Mario Kart 2DS and its sales immediately spiked again of like, it's a 2DS, which you didn't really plan on buying, but it's got Mario Kart already installed. So if they did that with a Switch and Pokemon, man, you could not keep them in stock.
I feel like they know how powerful Pokemon is and they know the addictive nature of it and they know the fans are like rabid. I don't think they'll pack that in, to be honest. I think they know people will spend the money. And I've seen these people that they'll spend the money.
I think it depends on when it comes out. If it somehow comes out a couple months before Christmas, then I definitely think we're going to see some crazy bundles at Christmas. I think that they want to make sure the Switch, because the Switch was breaking records like crazy last Christmas. I think they want to make sure they can replicate that magic again anywhere they can.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. Black Friday, I think, is going to be pretty good for the Switch. We already seen if you go to Walmart, the Joy-Con controllers were $10 off. The Pro controller was $10 off, which I thought was interesting. I have no idea why that happened. Like the Joy-Con controllers for pair was $70, and the Pro controller was $60. I don't know why that was. It might still be on rollback now, but I think Black Friday this year will be pretty good actually for the Switch. A lot of the games will be a little older. Like South Park will probably be like, like $25 or something, or $20 that then. But I'm buying that. That's 10 days from now.
There'll be a big push for Smash Brothers too.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Let's say Smash is September. October, I guess, could be Fire Emblem or Yoshi. Or both. I don't know. Maybe Yoshi's an August game. I mean, it seems like Nintendo is building a decent holiday lineup right now, if you really sit down and look at it.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, we know about Fire Emblem's coming. We know it's 2018. It's weird because we know nothing about it. But it's coming 2018. We figure we'll know about it at E3, and a big blowout, maybe an October release. Yoshi, they could probably sneak in November or even before then, maybe. And then Pokemon might be like the third week in November. I don't know what Fridays are in November. But I feel like they have a decent lineup. That's all stuff we know, because what happens if Retro Studios shows up with their game and that comes out this holiday?
Donkey Kong.
Oh gosh. Donkey Kong. Oh no.
I wouldn't mind Donkey Kong. I like Tropical Freeze. I think it's a great game, but you never know.
Oh man. Look,
I know that would make some
Austin's
people
like
upset,
the Pokemon expert. Austin, you just want to come in this chat, man, and tell us about Pokemon? Because he's dropping the knowledge about when it usually launches and everything, and man, he's just dropping knowledge in the chat. Yeah, I'm trying to look at their calendar. What else do we know about Nintendo's launching this year? Because I actually forgot about Yoshi for a while because I thought Nintendo forgot about it.
Honestly, it's pretty mysterious. Like the second half of the year, at least to me, is pretty mysterious, especially considering I always hark on this point when talking about the 2018 lineup, is that Nintendo themselves pretty much said last year that 2017 was going to be the the traditional IPs that we come to expect from Nintendo. And then 2018, you were going to start to see more experimental things and, sort of different things. And while you have Labo, I don't really foresee that as, like them just doing one game and that's like their new IP and then moving along. So I honestly think you're going to see a lot of surprising shit at E3, kind of like, wow, I didn't expect this, or wow, what is this sort of stuff.
Yeah, because what if Animal Crossing, shows up at E3?
Animal Crossing and Smash. I think we're definitely going to see a lot of Smash at E3.
Oh yeah, Smash for sure.
And then there's third-party stuff.
Yeah, and the third-party stuff's what I'm pretty interested in.
Like Doom 2, right?
I mean, you never know what Bethesda's doing.
They're holding their own event.
Yeah, I think if they announce that, it's definitely coming to the Switch because the engine already is well established.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't see why not. It might not be the version everyone buys, but it's still there. Like if Doom 2 showed up, honestly, day one, I'd probably get it on my Xbox One X.
Yeah, I'm getting it on PS4.
I mean, I'd probably have it sent over on the Switch, and I would just buy it on the X.
No,
I would do the complete. Then I do my completely unnecessary comparison of, hey, this Xbox One X, it does 4K compared to
4K 60 frames.
I'd be that jerk. Yeah. Although then I would be like, let me show you how it runs when I unplug the Xbox from the wall. Right?
Oh, there you go. Here's me playing my Xbox One outside.
Yeah. Oh man, that's great. Do you want to talk about these patents, Dave? Because they are fairly interesting.
Yeah, they are, and I know you were saying that on Twitter too. That you were interested in talking about it as well.
Let's see if I can pull this up. You can go ahead and talk, Dave. I'll see if I can figure this out.
Of course, this in no way confirms that this is going to be 100% used or anything, but it is very interesting. And it's really weird, too, because what was the guy's name from Nintendo who just said, hey, we're working on new hardware just 2 days ago? And this comes out. I don't know. It just seemed kind of odd. But
it was a weird statement because he answered the question of, hey, the Switch is doing really well. Did you expect it or something like that, right? And he was kind of like, oh, wait, yeah, we're working on other stuff, too. You'll see the new system hopefully soon or something like that or in the future.
Researching and developing, yeah. But it's pretty cool. Basically, at digitaltrends.com is where I'm looking at this ad. Nintendo files patent for separate screens capable of communicating. So it has the two different screens that you can basically get close to one another. And there's polarity, I guess, technology involved here. I don't know how the technology works exactly according to the patent, but how it works is that you get the screens close together. And guys at home, you can see this. You can tilt basically your screen to another screen, and you can transfer things to the other screen without actually having to touch the other screen, or you can touch it. But basically, it's within the proximity of it, and you can transfer objects between screens. And they gave an example of having 3 or even 4 different screens connecting and doing that kind of thing. And that's what really cool.
I have that presenting to the to the group right now, the patent for it, where it kind of shows 3 screens kind of interacting with each other. And it's almost like they can just communicate with each other. It's almost like the next evolution, I guess, of what the 3DS kind of is.
Yeah, and since they have 3, 4 screens, I don't think that your system would come with 3 or 4 screens, obviously. So I'm thinking that this is just speculation, if they did have this as a dedicated handheld, it would be 1 screen, and you could perhaps play with your friends with their own systems. You can connect their screens together there, play a local multiplayer. That's just an idea. So it wouldn't be something required, maybe, because the obviously this type of gameplay would not be something you would play with every game. It'd have to be something, for specific usage, right? So I think it's kind of cool and a really cool idea that you could.
Austin John Plays is in the room now. What's up, Austin?
Hey there. Can you hear me all right?
Fair enough. Yeah.
Right. It's also worth saying Nintendo has filed a lot of patents that they have never done anything with whatsoever.
And
the weird VR one from like a year and a half ago, where he put the goggles on. It's like,
well, couldn't that also technically potentially be 3 undocked, no Joy-Con attached Switch units?
Yeah. That's what I think it is, and I think that's what the technology is. But it's also, I think they're just filing it so that people can use the technology. I don't know if anybody will, though. That's so weird. I think they're just trying to set it up in case they want to.
Yeah, but I told you they have like the Willy Wonka factory in the back for their R&D department, and they just come up with some of the weirdest stuff just in case. But that one's at least interesting enough to look at a couple times.
They have that diagram of the bowling pins and the bowling ball that you tilt and it goes to the other screen from the other screen and knocks over the pins. And I think that's cool. I mean, it's not something required to use, but I think that's something that would be
Didn't they show something like that for the Wii U back in the day, where you had like the throw star?
I was gonna say that's some Wii U shenanigans right there.
What were you saying, Max?
I was gonna say this sort of it reminds me of some of the things of ex Nintendo employees recently have said, which is that Nintendo right now is basically just putting people in rooms and just saying, just churn out ideas, where it's like literally they're just saying like everything and anything. We want weird ideas. And so when I see stuff like this, I'm like, yep, this is definitely from that weird room at Nintendo where people are paid to come up with weird ideas.
Thanks Wishbone. Again, any super chats or questions we read at 10:30 p.m. So about 45 minutes. Thank you though. Yeah, that's the thing. Their R&D department's got to be like, if this is the stuff that we come across, what's the stuff that like never leaves like their back room?
You can use your Wii U as a plate. It's like, get out of here.
It's got to be some insane stuff that we just never see. I don't know. I would love to just for a day just to go back there and see what they have going on.
Those weird mini games in Japan where you stand at the urinal and you pee and it gives you a score. I'm sure someone was like, all right, now you pee on the Switch and the touch screen. They're like, no, John, stop.
Yeah, that would be the Wii. Remember Wii?
Exactly. That's the connection nobody wanted to buy.
So, Austin, did you want to give your take on Pokemon before we moved on to anything else?
Yeah, I feel like I joined like 5 minutes too late.
Oh, no, please.
That's what the Pokemon talk, man.
I mean, I could talk about Pokemon all day. That or Zelda. Anyways, so yeah, something that was really interesting. I put it in the chat. I don't know if you had a chance to see it or read it. So Pokemon Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Sun and Moon was developed by the developers who did Pokemon Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, which is just using the current generation of X and Y with this game, and then just A plus B equals C. Mm-hmm. But for Sun and Moon, the same people who made this game went on to make Sun and Moon, and then half of their team was taken away, and then they made Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. which means that the team who did X and Y and the half of the team who did Sun and Moon have been working on something for over 2 years.
There you go. See,
Okay,
Wink,
good point.
wink. Yeah, like they have like the people who are actually in charge of things doing that, not the people who are like, do this project.
So
Yeah,
can I ask,
right.
ask you a real dumb basic question? So we're currently on Gen 7, right? This would theoretically be the beginning of Gen 8. And my question is, do you think this is going to be Gen 8?
Duh.
So you do think that this is definitely going to be a complete new area, new everything?
Well, just because it's a new generation doesn't mean that it can't be a reboot of an old game or a reimagining of an old game, the same way that Fire Red was to Red.
I like Fire Red.
I'm actually playing Soul Silver right now, just like in my off time. I love it because I basically get the Fire Red experience. But like, if you go through the games, they did Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, then Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Black and White, Black 2, White 2. That was Gen 5, Gen 6. Gen 7 was X and Y, Oris, Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Now they're going to be on Generation 8. I mean, it's 100% Generation 8. Just generations aren't really defined as things. However, when launching a new system, they've never launched with a reboot of an old game. They've always done a new game. And then with the new world that they've built with the textures and everything else and how the polygons actually render, they then make a reboot of an older game, which we could expect to see Diamond and Pearl remakes a year or a year and a half after Generation X's game or Generation Switch's game.
Yeah, see, I'm on the complete polar opposite of that, only because Generation 7 began with Sun and Moon. So Generation 7 only began in November of 2016. There's no way they're beginning Generation 8 only 2 years after introducing the new generation, because they always like to keep the generations for several years. And 2 years is just not enough for the Pokemon Company. We're just not like...
We had that, Austin, was it you told me about that? I saw that magazine. I think you mentioned it. And then somebody actually sent me a translation.
You're right. Sorry, I misspoke. Generation 6 is X and Y, Oris. Generation 7 is Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Sorry.
I sent that I saw that magazine. I think you may have talked about it as well. Somebody actually sent me a translated bit of it on Twitter. Someone actually sent me a message about it. And it does mention the 8th generation about how they're going to apparently do something different, I guess, for the Switch, which is interesting to hear about. But I don't know. That was in the I think it was in a magazine in Spain. Yeah, okay. Yeah. After a lifetime associated with portable consoles, the canonical Pokemon will take the leap to a table with its 8th generation. Game Freak at the Pokemon Company are rethinking the saga to surprise with new mechanics either in 2018 or later. Yes, that's what it translates to. Apparently, it's a magazine that came out today in Spain.
Yes, in Barcelona, Spain, there is a Comic-Con sort of thing going on that's officially endorsed by Nintendo, that they handed out a Nintendo Switch magazine that all it was a Generation 1 Pikachu picture, and it said Generation 8. That was it. That's no more information than we already know. They
just need to announce this thing, man. People are going nuts.
Show the game.
Yeah, and you even see the Pokemon. I guess I was telling them, Austin, did you see the Eevee Pokemon account having fun with that screenshot by having Eevee like riding around Lapras and taking pictures of it?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, they're just poking fun at the whole thing now. They're just messing around. Like, you know it's gonna be it's gonna be good when the official accounts are trolling people already. It's like Sega Europe, man. Yeah, I know, right? They will leave.
I thought that was a troll account at first. I'm telling you, they were following.
They just like to mess around with Sean and I, man. I'm telling you, they bug us. Although they did at least tell us when they were going to reveal it, so that was kind of them.
That was kind of them because it allowed me.
It let us stream it.
Going back to what Direct Tuber Dan, I forgot what his name was. Direct Feed Games said.
Direct Feed Games. 1,200 of you guys in here. Make sure you check out our guest, Austin John Plays. You just crossed 400,000 subs, right?
Yes.
Jesus. Good stuff. And then Max Dreamcast guy coming up on 100,000 subs.
Yep, I'm at like 95,000 basically.
Yes. Direct Feed Games. Make sure you check Matt out here, Nate Drake out as well, coming up on 10,000 subs. Sean also coming up on 100,000 as well. Did you end up getting to your 94,000, Sean?
93,000.
Sorry, 93,000. Yeah, very cool, very cool. And then SuperMetalDave, of course, as well, who is actually back on YouTube pretty consistently now after a bit of a break, right, Dave?
Right.
So yeah, so make sure you check everyone out, and then you can take it away. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, as direct feed, you were talking about. Well, I'm just actually looking at the calendar here. Every single generation, there's always been from the beginning of a new generation. So let's say Platinum was 2008. 2 years later was Black and White. In 2009, they released Heart Gold, Soul Silver. From 2010, they released Black and White, and then they waited 2 years for Black and White 2. And then the next year, X and Y. Oris was 2014, waited 2 years for Sun and Moon. That could have to be with the directors being on top, the new directors from an older game being on top of it, things like that. But like, there's really no way to tell.
No, there's really no way to tell, but it just seems 2 years is a really short generation for Pokemon, just because of the merchandising and everything. Like, what is 2 years? It's better off to have another Generation 7 game come to Switch this year, begin Generation 8 in 2019 or early 2020. That way they can, kind of flesh it out. You can get an old let's just say hypothetically the Pokemon that comes to Switch this year is a remake of an old game.
But we don't know if we're getting a game this year. We know it's 2018 or later for the Nintendo Switch game, which now the Nintendo Switch game is confirmed as 8th generation, which, I mean, I wasn't that curious. I didn't think it wasn't, but they were losing ambition. Like, if you're playing on a system, excluding Dreamcast guy, that's so old, and like you're waiting for like new hardware, you're waiting for something else, and like your spirits die a little bit, and then you get found out about this new system that's going to be so much more powerful. That's why they cut out the 3D, because they needed that little bit more processing power for better things. But like
the Switch is tremendously more powerful than the 3DS.
Oh yeah,
by a lot.
Did you see the video that I upscaled all the models to 4K?
That was with like Citra. You use Citra or like a 3DS emulator? Yeah, they look good. They look really good.
So they look so good.
Yeah, they get away with that. I don't think they'll do 4K. They'll probably do 1080, but like if they got 1080 or even, I guess 1080 30, but if they got 1080 60 out of it, that'd be a clean looking game.
Well, it's about doing the 1080 and then fixing the lines. So like if you play Smash on the 3DS as opposed to the Wii U, how they have the black lines just so it's more distinct to notice where the character is.
Can't play it, man. Can't play it.
Now that they're going to the Switch, they can cut down either on the width of the lines or remove them completely to make them look like clean textures. And as weird as a game that Detective Pikachu is, I've been playing it, and like what they've done with the models looks fantastic. And like no one's even paying attention to that.
Yeah. Nobody's talking about it. I've watched some gameplay of it, and you're right. Yeah, the new they sort of look like spongy cartoon characters to me, and I mean that in a good way, and that they actually seem to have like more substance to the character models.
100%. Yeah.
So it's gonna be really cool to see that a Pokemon game on the Switch. Like I said, it'll probably get me back into the series to check it out again. I can't go back to that 2DS XL screen. I can't do it.
No,
I can't do it.
I'd rather play the 2DS than the 2DS XL just because it's sharper pixels.
Yes, yeah. Even the regular 3DS, because the screen's smaller, it's it kind of works out a little better that way. That man, when they stretch it out for that XL screen, it's just it's tough, man. So especially after going back from the Switch screen, that is a really good looking screen, to that, it's not easy. I can't do it. Can't do it. So Austin, are you on the side of 2018 or 2019 before we move on for Pokemon? You can be honest here. It's all
Have you heard about the localization rumor about it being started already? Before you answer? Yeah. Okay.
I did, but like I feel like this is a higher ups call because it doesn't take too long to make the game. They're it's confirmed that they're using, or it's highly rumored that they're using the Unreal Engine, so they don't need to build their own engine. They just program what they want. They already have an idea of textures because they have a running theme. They've been to Spain where they think the game is going to be taking place, and coincidentally, we've already, at the Comic-Con in Spain is the first time that we hear about the Generation 8 confirmed. I feel like it really comes down to, does Nintendo need it for a system seller for holiday 2018? If it is, they'll give them more people because the 3DS department and the Switch department combined a while ago. So if they need more people for labor-intensive things, because storyline's done, that doesn't take 2 years. The models are done, they've been done. It's just a matter of putting it all together and coming up with fun things.
Yeah.
So if they need it for 2018, then 2018. If not, they're going to hang on for 2019.
I feel like they desperately want it for 2018. Otherwise, they would have taken it off their investors briefing. And we have the next one on the 26th, I believe, is when we find out about how many Switches they've sold up until through March, actually. I believe that's in 12 days. And we'll see what they say for Pokemon. We'll see if they change anything or Bayonetta, although I think Bayonetta will fall to 2019. And Metroid. We'll see if any of those are TBA or if they are like dated at that point. But Pokemon last we saw was 2018 or later. And if it changes and just gets rid of 2018 and it becomes TBA, then it probably won't be this year. But there's also a chance they erase that TBA and just make it 2018 straight up. So that's when we'll find out more about that. If they don't change it at all, they might still be undecided, or they might just be saving it for that
Nintendo
2018 at the end.
Nintendo might just not be telling anyone information because, well, do you know what happened with the pirating on all the 3DS games?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
That's so awful.
That hurts because they crack down big time on people like me. And
I became a brand ambassador for Nintendo, and this was the first game I was getting early. I was stoked, and they're like, "Oh, you should receive it in the mail today." I'm like, "It's 11 days before release."
Dude, they did that with Xenoblade. It was on the day it came out at like 12:01. They were like, "Here's Xenoblade." I was like, "What am I supposed to do with this on release day?"
Yeah.
So I had to blast through that game.
I got it 11 days early, and then 8 hours later, it was online.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And because of an embargo, I can't talk about it.
Yeah, but then they kind of punished a lot. Basically, I mean, they just cracked down. But Nintendo of America did specifically. Nintendo of Europe was fine, and Nintendo of Japan was fine. But
Yeah, that's changed recently.
Oh, it has?
Is a lot stricter now with code.
Yeah, it's bad.
It seems like they fired half the people to do their PR. Every time I reach out or try to talk to them, I feel like I talk to a different person lately. It's like, I think a lot of people got cut out.
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything back for Kirby. Now I think about it.
The only thing better that we know is that, you can't easily install games on the Switch right now. Like the Switch is
it's
like
not the
step
3DS.
one of being
Right. It's not the 3DS. I will say that it's not that bad. It's trying to get there, but it's not that bad yet. Okay, so Pokemon, maybe 2018. Austin, when you said when it was going to come out? You said it was like 2 weeks before Black Friday or something like that when it usually would come out.
I think since 5th gen, don't quote me, they've released every single game more than 2 weeks before Black Friday.
Wait, when is Thanksgiving this year? Is it on the 22nd or the 29th?
Should be the third Thursday.
Wow. Okay. Wow. It's gonna be really early then. Yeah, that would be like the 15th then. That's the third Thursday.
Okay, then maybe not. I feel like it has to fall with like a certain week calendar thing.
Well, let's say it's Black Friday's the 23rd. That means it would come out on like the 9th or the 2nd of November.
The 22nd is Thanksgiving.
Okay, yeah, so it would come out the 9th then, November 9th. That's a Friday.
I mean, last year it was the 11th.
There you go. All right,
They've also done late September and October.
We're going with November 9th then for the launch day. Let's do that. Cool. Okay, very good, very good.
I love how we just keep panning to the empty chair.
Well, that's he
has a ghost.
Well, it'll do it when you talk. When you talk and you're up on the screen, it shows you a random screen.
That's great. Very cool.
Can we fanboy out for a second about
Shenmue?
Shenmue?
Go ahead, Max. Go ahead.
Oh my God, Shenmue HD is finally a real thing. So in case y'all haven't heard about it, for the last like 5.5 years, there was this guy who came out back in 2013 claiming that he actually worked on a Shenmue HD collection for the Xbox 360. He said that it was pretty much done. And ever since then, everybody's kind of been scratching their heads because it was like, okay, if Shenmue HD is done, why aren't we seeing it? And so everybody started doing this campaign where the third of every single month, all the Sega fans would tweet out at the same time, save Shenmue, because we were all just trying to get this. And now, after years and years and years, literally a half decade of begging for it, we finally have it. I mean, it's so phenomenal. I'm literally, no exaggeration, going to buy 10 copies of Shenmue HD collection. I want to buy the North American Xbox One, PC, and PS4. I'm gonna get the Japanese box art of it's only coming out in Japan. It's only coming out on PS4 and PC. So I don't want to get the Japanese box art. I'm just losing it because that's what I do.
Are you eating a pickle?
dude?
Yeah.
What's with the
Comes back
cucumber?
with the most random food ever.
Are
It's
you,
a pickle. It's
are
a
you
pickle.
pregnant? Got a random craving?
I love pickles, man.
Awesome. That is awesome. Like everyone was like, he's getting chips, and you just come back and flip it on its ear with a pickle.
So let me tell you about what happened with the chips. All right.
Oh man,
this is bad. So like there's a few ants in my kitchen or whatever, and I've been like spraying stuff, trying to get rid of them or whatever. And I had like chips and cereal in like the same area. I got a bowl of cereal last night. I'm eating the cereal. I look down in the cereal, and there's like 3 ants in the cereal, and I flipped out. Like I was screaming at the top of my lungs. People must have thought that like so I was getting murdered or something. So I went and threw away all my chips, all my cereal, like every dry food that was open, and then I just sprayed today. So yeah, no chips.
Oh yeah, left
was
with pickles then.
Pickle life.
I mean, they're not getting that pickle, man. That's great. So you have no chips now.
No chips. I
Dude,
did go.
you gotta make like an Amazon like wish list. So that way people can send you like 1,000 bags of chips. That'd be outstanding.
I would
Just
feel
pour-
like such a bore.
Just pour your Diet Dr. Pepper on those ants; they'll kill them.
Dude, they're crazy. I was spraying the outside of the house today, all sorts of stuff.
Wait, you're not. Yeah, we get a lot of actually up in Northeast around this area. We get a lot of ants. Like, there's ants everywhere.
And what sucks is like I got bit by one, I think, and like when I get bit by a black ant, like
they bite you. Yeah, they bite.
Dude, like I swell up. Like it's crazy.
The ones around here will. They'll come after you. But if you actually who does it? There's a company that'll actually come out and spray around your house, and it'll keep ants from getting in.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do.
The one that has the big ant on top of it from Toy Story?
No, not that. I guess it's what is it, Orchid or Orkin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
They'll come out. They'll
if
spray for like an hour or two around your house, and you won't have any more ants. So.
Okay.
Hashtag sponsored. Hashtag not sponsored.
Yeah.
What's up, Orkin? Y'all watching this? Come by the crib. I'll do a video on Orkin.
We only have so many companies that stalk us on here, man.
No.
Did you do your E-Win chair yet? Because they're sending me one too.
Yep. I already did it. It's a nice
They're
chair.
Speaking of
sending me
ants,
the same one.
Is that what?
They're sending me the same one.
Oh, really?
Oh, ants. Yeah.
Does this company just send everybody chairs or something?
Dude, they've
They're
been
sending everyone chairs.
Yeah, Wood got one. Sunbukish got one. So many people are like, I guess they're just trying to get their name out there. It's a hell of a chair, though. Like, I'm not going to turn down a free chair.
Do you have like a GT Omega or like the other high end one to like compare it?
My chair that I was using before this was from the dump. My old boss was throwing away some trash and was like, "Hey, there's a chair here. Do you want this chair?" And I was like, "Does it smell?" He's like, "It's not too bad." I was like, "All right, bring it by the house." So yeah, I used that the entire time, and now this company hit me up and they're like, "Hey, do you want a chair to check out for your channel?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, thank you."
Because I expected it to be like just as good as like regular gaming chairs, but $100 cheaper.
Yeah, like I think it's very comfortable. I'm not the smartest person when it comes to like setting shit up, so it took me a little bit of time to do that. But yeah, I mean, I like it. It's definitely made my back feel better. So,
but can your chair do this?
Yeah, yours can go all the way back, can't it, Sean, or no?
It can go back pretty far. I don't have a lot of room back here.
all right, chair wars, go.
Is that the PewDiePie meme? Is that what that is?
Oh yeah. What's up? What's going on? Good with you.
How far should you go?
Make sure you lock the recline before you do that.
Oh, I'm terrified.
Mine can't do that because it's an adult chair. It's an adult chair, so.
I had like a $600 Office Depot chair, but like sitting in this chair and doing the gaming and the videos, especially when I'm editing, after a day my back would just feel like complete garbage. And then I got one of these chairs and it felt great without the lumbar pillow.
No, I just got a Serta Office premium leather chair.
I literally got this at a yard sale for like $2. And it's like one of those wireframe ones. I got it because,
dude, let me like send you a chair, man.
My original one I found in the trash can, literally, and I used that for a long time, but it started squeaking when I record audio, and this thing's silent, so I just use this. But my back doesn't hurt because I work out a lot, and when you do a lot of weightlifting, it kind of keeps your back straight anyway. So I don't really get sore back from sitting in this weird thing.
Let's go back to Shenmue. We lost. Somehow we went to ants.
Yes. Okay, please. So what I'm saying is,
it was Pickles. Pickles was the segue.
Pickles did it, man. That pickle like turned on us. So Shenmue's coming out $29.99, Xbox One, PS4, PC, sometime 2018.
And some of the stuff that they've been saying makes me think that it's coming to Switch. So what I was trying to say originally was that, so this guy came out in an interview. He was doing a lot of interviews with magazines back in 2013, saying that they made Shenmue HD almost completely back in 2013, but for the time it was for Xbox 360. So I think that what they're doing is they're taking those original assets and they're just porting them to, of course, the Xbox One and PS4. It's also getting a new controls and stuff, but I think that's why it's not on Switch yet, as I think that they're just taking that original version they made and putting it on the consoles that still works similar to that, and then they're gonna like make the Switch version afterward. But I fully expect this will come to Switch as well.
Yeah, because it could run on Switch, no doubt.
Oh yeah, for
easily.
sure.
Yeah, well, because they're making it very clear that Shenmue HD is just the original assets and new controls. It's not going to be doing anything new. There's no new gameplay, no new content really, other than the like control style. So it should easily run 1080p 60.
Okay. It's been in development, I think, for a long time. I mean, we heard about this thing forever ago. So
yeah,
there's a good chance they just were working on the other systems. Oh, the Switch thing's getting announced. Well, we got to finish it on these first. And they actually were questioned about that, and they said just that. They said we're focusing on the PC and these console versions first. But hey, maybe at some point it'll come over. But right now, you get on the PS4, Xbox One, or PC. Is everyone getting it, or are most people getting it? Who's getting it?
I'm buying 10 copies. I'm going to do giveaways on my channel.
I thought it was going to be more expensive, 40, 50. I was ready to pay 60, and I was like, 40, okay, whatever, but
$30. I was like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm literally going to buy 10 copies. Like, seriously, I'm going to buy 10 copies. Like, it's just so cheap, and I want to do giveaways, and I want to give them to my friends. Like, it's one of those things where we've been wanting this for so long. I still cannot even believe it. So I'm hoping that we get the Shenmue collection, and then we get Shenmue 3, and then I'm hoping they do some sort of like special Ultimate Edition later that's all of them bundled together, like with Londi's bicep on the cover. I'd love that.
Okay. What about Matt Direct Feed?
I'll buy the collection just for Shenmue 1. Shenmue 2 pissed me off when it first came out on the Xbox in North America, and I'm not sure I'm ready to deal with that game again. Because no game's supposed to... You shouldn't start off a game with, oh, I'm stranded. I got mugged, and now I have to do street fights to earn money to do quests. But then it's like, you have $5 in your pocket. I'm going to arm wrestle you for $5. You lost. Well, fuck you, game.
You got to hustle, man. You got to go on them side streets and play little drop slot.
That pissed me off when it first came out. I'm like, I can't wait to play Shenmue 2. You got mugged. I was like, you know what?
What is Austin, did you just put hashtag like spike in? Like spike?
That's good.
In the chat? Is that what you did? You want to see a like spike?
So
this is easy. Sean, where's your pickle?
Well, I gotta grab another, but I just got
another pickle. What happened? Did you already finish eating that one?
Yeah, dude. I just got Simpsons Hit and Run for $20, complete in box shipped because of Facebook. Because someone saw I made a post about it, so I'm very happy right now.
Are you shopping?
So you have 2 pickles.
So, well, one thing just before we leave the topic that I think is super cool is you've never been able. There's tons of collectibles in Shenmue 1 and Shenmue 2, but there was never a way outside of Japan to get all the collectibles because your save file actually carries over. The only way to do it was to get the European copy of Shenmue 1 and the European copy of Shenmue 2 on Dreamcast, or convert your save file. And it was such a pain. So this will be the first time ever that almost even the most hardcore Shenmue fans, this is going to probably be the first time ever where we can do everything in the game, carry over a save file, and actually finish the story as one save file. And hopefully carry that straight into Shenmue 3, which would just be nuts.
That's going to be interesting. I guess I'm getting it on the Xbox, I guess. I mean, it's not this would be the first time it's really been on the PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll get on the Xbox.
Has there been any updated footage for Shenmue 3 yet for like the faces and stuff like that?
No, as they've said specifically that faces will move. They're not going to be.
It was terrifying, man.
I didn't even notice. I was so happy to see the new fighting and new characters. I didn't even notice. So I went to the comment section. It was like, why are these puppets so angry? And I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
Sean, didn't you make a video on that where you're like,
I did a video defending it. As soon as I saw it, I made a video being like, okay, let's face it, that trailer was trash, but the game exists.
Oh
me
yeah.
ask,
Well, no, you talking about Shenmue 3?
Yeah, that trailer that released last year. That was like,
I was just concerned because like they showcased some of the character animations, and this was like before we had gotten anything else. Of course, it had been very quiet. It was just what we saw. It was like, holy shit! Like this looks straight out of Dreamcast, which isn't necessarily bad. But when you have a Kickstarter, and then of course I started to theorize. They got X amount of dollars. It cost so much more to make the original game. Is this enough money to do it?
They're getting it from Sony's funding them too, apparently, right?
Yeah. So I hate crowdfunding, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'll be a good game when it comes out. It's just. I don't necessarily think it's going to be like this super very modern game at the same time.
Oh no, I think it's going to be very indie because the original one cost $200 million to make. At the time, it was the most expensive game ever made. They had to create an all new system called Free, which stood for like free open world, whatever the hell. But
didn't they just sell like 2 copies to every one Dreamcast owner for that game to make any sense?
Yes.
Like, fiscally?
Well, what's funny is they actually
insane.
One of the rarest Dreamcast collectibles is a special disc that they gave away with Dreamcasts in Japan called What's Shenmue, and it's a special prequel chapter where you play as Ryo Hazuki, and it ends with, no joke, the president of Sega Japan sitting in a room with a bunch of unsold Dreamcasts saying like, why did I think that would sell? Like, because they thought that this plan will work perfectly. This is a great joke. And it turned out to be true. It's like, oh no.
All right,
Dave,
guys, hit the like button.
What?
Yeah.
No,
Pickles.
People in the he does have his pickle. Oh man.
Yep.
See, look at Charles Miller trying to get us on trending. You doing to me, man? You doing? Everyone's people are hitting the like button, man. It's one of those days. Let's who's Dave? You getting Shenmue?
I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. What system are you getting it on?
Probably PS4 when it comes out.
I don't know if you're gonna get it on your PC. Did you ever upgrade your video card, by the way?
Huh?
You still roll with 770s? Did you ever upgrade your video
card? I still have the GTX 770s. Yeah, I'm a PC.
Okay. You want to pre-order one of those NVIDIA cards when they make them pre-order, like able to be pre-ordered?
Maybe.
I
Depends
think
on
that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna upgrade when that happens.
Hopefully they're not too expensive. I don't know about these prices with PC right now.
I don't think they get any more expensive than what they are. That's why I'm saying pre-order, because they probably do like limit 1 per customer from NVIDIA. Usually when you pre-order through NVIDIA, then they hook you up with a vendor. So I'm hoping that's the case.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I might get like the 1170 or 1180 or something. Okay, cool. Very good. Very good. Yeah, Shenmue. And then we find out about the Sega Mini.
Mm-hmm.
I was excited at first.
Yeah, At Games is making it. It looks different, but it's At Games still.
I'll play devil's advocate and say that I am optimistic. I have hopes for this. I may be the only person in the entire world, but I will say that I have hopes. I actually didn't hate the At Games Genesis. I still own it. I actually own it complete in box still. As bad as that thing was, it sort of functioned enough for me.
I got hooked up with somebody. Austin, are you trying to say stuff? No, we can barely hear you, dude. You're like super low. You're like really low right now.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I can't.
You're like really low. I can barely hear you. You're like really low.
Yeah, I don't hear him at all.
You gotta switch to T-Mobile. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, you're really low. I remember the At Games thing. I had a feeling it wasn't going to be good because I did get hooked up with somebody to send that out, and I told him I was going to take it apart, and I just never heard from him again. So I was like, oh no.
AT Games, they're sort of like that dog, that roams around your neighborhood, and you try to pet him, and he bites your hand, and like you just for some reason you just keep trying to pet him, and he just bites your hand, and then next thing you know, you have rabies, and then you die.
The weirdest thing about this, and the reason I'm sure they don't want you to open it, is this thing weighs about a half an ounce. Like you can literally hold it on a pinky. It is so. I think that there's probably a super tiny single like microchip in there, and nothing else. It's super light. So, this thing's all right though. My concern is. Or my optimism is the fact that somebody freeze framed the stream where they showed off the Mega Drive Mini, and one of the things that they had is there's clearly an SD port on the side. So I'm
It's
hoping
smaller than yours, though, right? Isn't that the one they showed? Because it was like tiny what he was showing. That one actually was kind of large.
It's smaller. This one's probably 2 or 3 times.
So it's not that same one.
It's going to be smaller, much smaller than even this, because this does have a cartridge slot. That one is way too small for even a cartridge slot. It looked like it was
the one he was holding up, though. It looked like it had like the spot for it didn't look like those like plastic flaps actually moved, though.
No,
it
it's
were like
definitely,
how the Super
definitely
Nintendo
sealed.
Classic
I
is.
definitely spent a lot of this morning examining that, and it's definitely supposed to be. Look, we have a classic edition too. That's 100% what it is.
Can you guys hear me now?
I hear you better. Yeah, you're still kind of low though, dude.
Keep talking.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah. That's better. You're good, man.
Is it like the good quality like normally, or is it like
you sound good?
To me, you're super low.
You're back.
Oh.
Good enough, Austin. I think you're back.
But I was saying that since they're not going to have a physical slot for it, I'm hoping they just buy the rights to a really good emulator. Because let's face it, a good classic edition is all about how good the emulation is, and the previous At Games things had trash emulation. So I'm hoping that they just find some people online who already have a good emulator, pay them $1 million, put that on the console, and sell it.
Well, with the one that you have, Max, there's been reports of the games freezing, screen tearing, and game-ending bugs and stuff like that, right? But you haven't had any problems with yours like that?
So what's really weird is I got mine almost 2 months before release, and they told me that this has different programming than the ones that went out at launch. They specifically told me that there's a way to tap in. You can like actually open this up and change the firmware, and there's multiple. They
should have sent it to me. See?
And so they said that this has a different firmware. Like I still have the emails saved specifically where they told me that this runs on a different firmware, and mine seems to work better than the retail version. So I don't know what to tell you.
I know a guy who loves opening up systems.
Yeah, they should have said. I wonder why they didn't. Now I'm starting to wonder why they didn't send me that thing. It's starting to make more sense now after what you just said.
All right, so here we go.
Okay,
AT Games, At Games, whatever they want to call themselves. Here's the thing when it comes to this company. I have like 3 different AT games. I have different AT game systems because they don't just do Genesis. They do older stuff, Atari, ColecoVision. The Atari and the ColecoVision stuff is actually decent. I have a Atari 2600 clone that they did, the gold one, and the ColecoVision, and not terrible. But the thing is with their Genesis stuff is it's just consistently year after year after year after year they say, oh, we were improving this, we're improving this, we're improving this, but it always has fundamental issues with game speed, game audio. Like I have a handheld one where this Sonic 1 song is literally 4 pitches below what it's supposed. It's like da 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 da, and it's like they keep saying, oh, we're coming out with this new technology this year. We're working on this new technology. What technology? You can run a damn Genesis emulator on your phone. All that's inside of these things is a Genesis emulator. Like my Xbox, my original Xbox has a Genesis emulator. You can put a Genesis emulator on your fart. Like, what new technology do you need? There's so many there's been emulators for 20 years that run the Genesis 5. Why is this such a problem?
Well, it reminds me of Peter Molyneux. They call it the Molyneux cycle, where each person, like each game, he's like, oh yeah, that last game, unfortunately we had to rush it. It was all broken promises, but the next game's going to be great. Oh, unfortunately the last game. So it just keeps doing it. It keeps doing it. So it's like maybe At Games is stuck in that process to keep just being like, oh yeah, like we're sorry the last console sucked, but hey, the next one's going to be great.
Well, the chips for the Raspberry Pi are not very expensive. They can just buy that.
Yeah, well, they have the license that you have to license and sell. So the weirdest thing of all, I have a conspiracy theory that At Games is 4 people, and I'm not exaggerating. I've talked to people inside that company, and I'm pretty sure it's literally 4 dudes who just keep getting millions of dollars to license this stuff, and they're just gluing stuff together and mailing it out because they don't seem to know at all what's going on.
Well, here, the biggest problem is Sega won't do it themselves for some reason.
Yeah.
The thing of it is I remember, I want to say it was last year, I got an email from them because I've made videos about AT games, at games, whatever the hell they're called, before on the channel, just, talking shit like I did today. That's getting very good views too. But I just say, they suck. Their track record is this is what they do when it comes to Sega stuff. Their other stuff is okay. And I remember like a year ago, they reached out to me. And it was like the president of the company, which is guy 1 of 4, of course. Yeah, exactly. And he was like, hey, I'm the new guy in charge. I'm taking this very seriously. It's going to be a better quality product. We want to send you some stuff. And I was like, all right, dude, whatever. If you want to send me something, that's cool. And then they never sent me anything. And I sent them a follow-up email. I was like, you guys going to send me something? And they never did. So that was the last I heard of them. But I just have no faith in them.
Well, I'm going to pull up an email because I think I have an email from them calling a YouTuber or calling reviewers stupid. One second. I think because I reviewed their thing. Really? And I said I liked it. And I think they sent me an email being like, it's a damn shame that everyone else is so dumb.
They don't like our broken product. How dare they?
I know, right?
Let's see. Damn dumb YouTubers.
Yeah.
Opinionated.
Yeah, they also want to give me any straight answers. Since I got it so far before launch, I kept saying like, hey, how come it's not compatible with any other controllers? Because I actually have a Sega Genesis Fight Stick that I love. I actually use it a lot. So I tried to use it because this says, hey, it's a Sega Genesis Mini. I was like, oh, sure. And I plugged in, it didn't work. So I ended up emailing their team and saying, hey, this doesn't function. They're like, oh, actually, yeah, it only works with standard button controllers. Like, this is standard. It's made by Sega.
All right, so you guys want to move into our last topic, but it's kind of like a joint topic, kind of. Starts with God of War. Everybody, I assume, saw the Metacritic, the reviews.
10 out of 10
on this game. It's 95 right now on Metacritic. At least it was earlier today. I don't know if it went down or up again. I know it needed more reviews that are really good to go any further. 95 is pretty good. Yeah, it's still 95. It actually went up from 94 yesterday. And that's with like 80 something reviews. So a lot of the reviews are in now that are I don't think it's going to change much at this point. So I feel like God of War is going to be probably one of the runner-ups for Game of the Year at this point. Probably between a few others. I'm sure there are some we don't even know about yet that could.
Well, I think Monster Hunter is going to be right now. Monster Hunter is my Game of the Year.
Okay. And then, of course, most of us will be playing God of War this week. Max, I guess, will be playing it on Monday, Tuesday, something like that. Most of us will be getting it Friday, I think. Yeah. Who's getting God of War? I should ask that before I assume everyone's getting it.
I'm even getting it.
You are or you're not?
Yeah, the Nintendo guys get it. Well, I mean, I'm gonna buy it myself and play it.
Yeah. Yep. I feel like most people are. Matt, are you picking up God of War?
I'm actually probably going to be that one person who waits to see more impressions on it. Right now, the reviews to me are just pure like hyperbole. They're like, "Oh, this is the best game ever." Well, yeah, because you haven't had a good Sony exclusive release in like a year. So it's like, let's get excited about God of War. And I feel like some of it's just bullshit right now. It's bullshit overhype.
Are you gonna try to check out like a stream for it or something just to see how it looks, or are you just gonna wait for till it drops in price?
I'll wait for a drop in price and I'll just read some general impressions after it launches, because based on the footage I've seen of the battle system and whatnot, it's not very compelling to me right now.
That's the thing.
Hang on. You're going to God of War for a comprehensive battle system?
Well, I want more than throw axe. Look, I'm Thor. I'm coming back. Throw axe. Do it again. Rinse and repeat.
That does seem like.
Well, no, there's hand-to-hand combat. There's some sort of elemental system, and there's also your shield. So there is a parry system and stuff built in there. But
and there's also the kid.
Yeah, the axe you can't control, and yeah, your kid Artemis actually helps in fights to do stuns and shoot stuff.
Yeah, but so did the girl in Resident Evil 5, and she was useless. So at the end of the day, AI co-op is just nothing to me, and the battle system just seems very.
Then you never played Kirby Star Allies, because those allies are.
No, I didn't.
those allies actually are pretty.
Yeah, they're not really. They're not as dumb as I thought they'd be. But wait for that game to drop to like $40. So.
I played most of the game, not even doing anything. Just like they do everything for me.
You press up and you'll do it. Yeah. The thing about God of War, not as much the battle system. I'm actually interested in kind of the evolution of Kratos as a character.
Yeah,
just
100%.
because it looks
That's why
like
I'm on
they're
board.
going completely like Kratos. I know I might get Kratos was a boring character back in the day.
Thank you. Yes.
I'm sorry, he's boring. He's always the same person throughout all three of the games.
I like
now
him.
He's like, look at my skin. This is my dead wife on my elbow. Elbow.
And he was having orgies and stuff. That's cool, man. That's
okay. It was cool when we were like 13, you know. And I look back on it, and I'm like,
press square for boobs.
Wouldn't you rather have an orgy than tell your 13-year-old son to shoot a deer with an arrow?
Personally, no.
I mean, I would.
I mean, at least you're not having an orgy with your 13-year-old son in the game.
That's true.
Well, I don't know. Maybe.
I mean,
But then again, the whole thing, he's like, shoot this deer so you can become a man. Wouldn't it be more manly to take him to a brothel and be like, son, nail this broad?
Choose a tit. No, did you see that great? Somebody made a great, it looks like a Shenmue QTE. There's like a moment where like Kratos looks like he's about to like touch his son on the shoulder affectionately, and then at the last minute his hand like pauses and it shows like the flashing like press square to be affectionate, and he fails the QTE and puts his hand down.
The visually though, did anyone see like any of the Digital Foundry stuff for that game?
Yeah,
it looks absolutely insane, like visually, to really come out of what a lot of people see as a very underpowered PC at this point. It is insane what they're getting out of the PS4 right now.
It's amazing what you can do with good art.
I watched IGN's 4K
yeah.
review, and I'm like, I was a little blown away.
Yeah, for what it looks like and everything. Yeah, it's checkerboard and everything, but it looks like phenomenal. And they have this uncapped mode, but Digital Foundry is showing it. And I was like, I don't know. I'll probably stick to the 30 frames mode. But it is a really good looking game. So I am really excited to play that game on Friday. I guess I'll probably I might try to honestly beat it by Sunday. I just try to blast through it.
It's supposed to be 30 hours. Yeah.
30 hours.
It's 20. They were saying 25. I don't know if it's actually 25. We'll see. But apparently it's like 40 something hours to 100% the game is what they were Barlog was saying about it. People in internal, like the studio who are play testing, it took like 40 or 45 hours to 100% the game, which is much more than the usual God of War game. So
yeah, if anyone doesn't want to buy the game, they can always do a free trial at GameFly and just rent the game and send it back.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Hashtag sponsored.
Yeah. That's not, yeah. But anyway, the question really started to come up was Sony produced what's the last Xbox game that people would really look at and compare it to? I guess it's Sea of Thieves.
Ouch.
I mean,
hey, I'm enjoying Sea of Thieves, okay? Sea of Thieves is fun when you have friends that are also losers.
I mean, they're the $60 for that game though. It's tough for me to. Yeah, it's tough. Game Pass, it's there, which is good. But I feel like Sea of Thieves will be good in 2 years. Is kind of the way I look at it.
Today they released this huge thing called the content roadmap, and it's basically showing all the updates for the next year. And the community is pissed. The community is mad. Actually, the people who are still playing it are basically being like, "Look, we need stuff today. Like, we don't need cool stuff in a month. We don't need a new quest system in 3 months. Like, we need stuff tomorrow." So a lot of the people that are sticking with that game are already, like, because of the news, dropping off even harder.
It's been in development for 4 years, right? Like,
yeah.
It's so weird to see that.
That was just for the water, actually.
Oh gosh, the water looks great. I'll say that. The water looks good, but it's like, man, and God of War's been in development for 5 years, so a year longer than Sea of Thieves. And it's insane.
Rare hasn't been doing too great. Like, Rare's job was like, hey, save the Kinect. Okay, now try to save the Kinect again. Okay, now what can you do with the Kinect?
But
go have fun with the game that you want to make.
Rare hasn't done shit since the N64 days. Let's all be honest here. Like,
oh yeah, Rare's a shell of their former self.
Well, yeah, it's a name at this point. The company exists, but everybody left. Which it's the same way Atari is right now.
Didn't Nintendo sell them Microsoft for like $250 million or something?
Yeah, and everyone thought Nintendo was insane, and Nintendo definitely came out the better of that deal. They gave Microsoft a name, and woohoo, we got grabbed by the ghoulies.
Yeah.
Nintendo was laughing in the bank about that.
I mean, Rare. I heard Rare Replay sells like crazy, but it's like, okay, that's definitely not $250 million of profit.
No, that was a cool little compilation disc. I will say that.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool to have that.
It's one of the only physical Xbox One games I have.
So what's next for Microsoft? State of Decay 2, right? Which actually looks decent. I'll be checking that out. Mostly because it's on Game Pass, so why not?
And even if it's not, it's $30 or $40.
Yes.
Yep. So I'll be checking that out. But we're going into E3. Right now, Sony's kind of on top between those two because Nintendo kind of is doing their own thing. The other two are the ones, dueling it out with 4K systems. Here's Sony with God of War. What's Microsoft have, though? Yeah. It's kind of the concern right now.
Crackdown 3? The game looks awesome.
We still haven't seen... When was the last time we saw that game?
Last year at E3.
I feel like it has to come out, obviously. I don't think it's getting canceled.
Has anyone like genuinely enjoyed a Crackdown game before?
Oh, no,
I like the first one. I like the first one a lot.
I know a lot of people hate on 2. I love 1 and 2 a lot.
I didn't like the second one as much. I like the first one a lot, though. I thought that was like eye-opening on the 360.
I like them because they were the first superhero games done right, in my opinion. Like the fact that you could just literally jump up a building if you plotted out your movements. I feel like it gave you the proper amount of freedom.
Did you like Prototype?
Yes, I love Prototype. I love Infamous a lot too. This felt like Xbox's answer to those. So Crackdown 3 though, like I have zero hype for it just because we haven't seen anything.
Yeah, that's the problem. And then they linked it to the cloud system, and then they kind of buried the whole game, and we haven't heard from it. Like, does it even still have that cell shaded look? Like, does it come back looking completely different?
Cloud physics will save it, man.
Yeah. The power of the cloud.
Oh, no.
Really say. I mean, that's Microsoft's biggest problem right now. I made a video because I'm like doing a video on Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, what they need to do at E3, and that was like I do 5 points, and like the main point was, besides of course the lack of exclusive games, is what is Xbox's brand in 2018? What is the brand? What do they signify? They're not single player experiences. They're getting their ass kicked in system sales, so it's not that. Is it the power of the Xbox One X, the best way to play third-party games? You're not going to get any first-party games. Is it Game Pass? Is it, relying on playing your old games? There's no clear direction for this company. And
there's a good chance the Switch passes it like a year from now.
Yeah. I mean, all it needs is damn Pokemon, and boom, overnight.
I think it's
Pokemon. What?
It was front page today of either Tech Radar or Forbes, but they did a huge, like, real big expose. And I think the title of it is Microsoft needs to give the Xbox One an exclusive worth buying. And I read the first paragraph of it, and it's literally the fact that there is no killer single player games at all on the Xbox One that are exclusive. There's just not.
The thing of it is that originally, early in the system's life cycle, there was a couple, Sunset Overdrive and Quantum Break were console exclusives for the Xbox One.
Rise was pretty good too.
Rise is okay, and those are pretty solid. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I hate Rise.
The Master Chief Collection still technically a console exclusive.
Yeah. I mean, just talking mostly the single player stuff. Like I thought Quantum Break was fantastic, and I was like, okay, cool, this is a good game. I like this, but it's like that's it. That's what you got. You have like those 2-3 games as your big exclusives, your single player experiences, and then go F yourself if you want anything else.
They need at least 2 big brand new IPs at E3, in my opinion. Like something really killer looking to get people's attention.
Ain't wrong.
Maybe they have like Perfect Dark at E3.
And they should really do
Perfect Dark,
a new IP. Like there's no originality from them hardly anymore. It's like
I think the thing is originality. Like 2 years ago, there was a lot of talk behind the scenes that like everyone was afraid of doing non-sequels. Like everyone was like, okay, bringing out a new thing in this age is really difficult. Like it's easier to put $1 million into making Call of Duty 75 than something new. But now that we've seen Horizon Zero Dawn really explode on the scene, I feel like a lot of people are rethinking that and seeing Breath of the Wild basically reboot the entire franchise. I feel like a lot of people are like, okay, like you can be extremely different, and as long as you're good, it's going to sell.
Even with Cuphead too. Yeah,
Cuphead or Hellblade. Like Hellblade was a really daring experimental project that they couldn't even afford to advertise. The budget was so tight, and they broke even and then some.
And one of my biggest peeves is whether you like Phil Spencer or you dislike him, whatever.
Here it comes.
Don't sit there and oh, good job, Sony, on God of War. You guys are doing great. Piss off, man. Like, quit sucking ass. Go worry about your own damn company. Worry about where the hell are your games that are something like this. Get a clear directive for your company. I hate people.
RGT, you're the only guy I know who gets mad at people for being a good sport. Like, hey guys, congratulations. You're like, shut your whore mouth.
Because think about it. Competition breeds excellence. If you look at
they are competing, but he's just saying like, hey, like I'd appreciate if you retweet me sometimes.
I think it's because of what we're used to from back in the day. It used to be cutthroat, put the knife in the back in like the 16-bit, 32-bit. It was not. You wouldn't see them congratulating each other back then.
Like, I just don't like stuff like that. Like saying in private. Like here's the thing. It's not like Phil Spencer. Like, we all know, Phil Spencer could probably talk to anyone at Sony. He probably has personal emails, personal cell phone numbers.
They go out to dinner a lot together and stuff.
Exactly. But it's like, by doing that, you're trying to put on like this facade and like trying to like, oh, let me do this in public so people see that I'm a good person. It's like, if I want to congratulate someone on something, I'll text them. I'll send them a DM. I'll go, congratulations, good job on what you did. It's like doing that out in the public is just like, look at me, la 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 la. Like,
I don't see it. I don't see it that way. Instead, I see it as these companies are all now so successful they don't have to build the wall anymore. Like, almost everybody owns multiple consoles, so they can congratulate each other and talk to each other more as equals. Even though, let's face it, the playing field is like this.
If you were Phil Spencer, if you took a shit in a house, you could then get rid of that house and go to another house.
Yeah.
When you have that much money, there's no reason to be spiteful. Granted, a friendly rivalry, that's fine. They don't like Nintendo. We get it. But like Sony, Xbox, they're doing the exact same thing. They have almost the exact same games, except for the exclusives, which are so mind-blowing that they win the console war. No one cares.
Did you see
that's the thing. There is no console wars. There's no wars within these companies. Nintendo doesn't look at Sony and be like, those jackasses, they're gonna make a handheld to compete with us. No, they're looking at Sony and saying, do it. We want to see what you can do. Sony looks at Nintendo and says, good job on the Switch. That's a great idea. I wish we did it. Microsoft is looking at it and say, that's a great idea. They meet up at E3, they go to dinner, they laugh. It's the fans on the forums and Twitter and YouTube who create this war setting that people think, oh, these companies hate each other. No, they look to each other for inspiration, for motivation. It's the fans who cause the war and make this stupid rift because they have to measure their ego of, oh, my piece of plastic is successful. It's better than your piece of plastic. Ha ha ha. It's not it's ridiculous.
Matt, I have to interrupt you for a second. Because you don't have the video camera up and because of your low tone, I feel like I'm being threatened by Anonymous whenever you talk.
We are everywhere.
I think I missed 1994 when Nintendo and Sony hated each other.
I miss when everyone hated each other. It even goes further back than that. You know what I was reading today? The Johnny Turbo comics, which are about when the Sega CD launched. Turbo Graphics was pissed off because Sega, in a passing interview, just said that they were it was a promotional advertisement flyer that Sega then pulled. Sega said that they were the first to the console market with a CD, and the Turbo Duo was already out. They made a whole comic book just talking shit about Sega for saying that they were the first on the market. Like, it's absolutely mind-blowing. And of course, you had, Crash Bandicoot invading Nintendo's. I love
what's the
class processing.
I guess I love conflict. I guess that's what it boils down to.
Well, it is, but it's not good for business. We now know that consoles sell better when everybody gets along. One of my favorite burns ever, though, was one of the heads of Microsoft was asked point blank at the launch of the Wii and the PlayStation 3 what he thought of their rivals' hardware, and it says, Nintendo's shooting for the moon and Sony's aiming for the sun. And I've always loved that quote of being like, yikes, like, it's true, though. They were aiming so high, they burned up.
Wasn't like the Wii one of the best-selling consoles of all time?
Yeah, at the time, I think Microsoft even at the time understood what they were going for, but they definitely didn't see them as competition.
Yeah, there was one year where the Wii sold like 24 million systems in a calendar year. It was absolutely ridiculous.
I don't think either of them consider what's it called? Nintendo to be competition. Like Nintendo's doing its own thing, and like
Yeah.
I don't think they care.
Well, I mean, look at Microsoft's working with Nintendo. You can sign into Xbox Live on your Switch.
Yeah, well, there's achievements now. There's gonna be Xbox achievements in Minecraft on your Switch.
Isn't the PlayStation the only device in existence that doesn't have Minecraft? I'm pretty sure there's Minecraft for the Dreamcast. There's just nothing on Sony.
Well, PlayStation has Minecraft, but they don't have the newest one that's coming out, the better together one that lets crossplay and everything happen, because you have to sign in to your Windows account or your Xbox account to use it, and Sony doesn't want that.
The most Phil Spencer ever did is wear that T-shirt that said 6 teraflops on it. Like, haha. That's like that's the most he ever did, really.
Oh gosh. See, they should have fun with it. They should poke fun at each other more, like that E3 conference where PlayStation just made fun of the Xbox One the entire time.
Here's how you trade games.
Here's how you share games.
Yeah, that was man, I miss those days.
Well, did you see last thing, because I know we got to get into Q&A or we're gonna run out of time. Did you see that thing? There was a series of screenshots going around yesterday on Twitter, and it says never forget 2016 when Nintendo decided to walk into the Microsoft area, and it shows like they have the Scorpio like prototype out there or something. You see Reggie Fils-Aimé walk in and look like, what is this shit on the floor? Like he looks bad for some reason. Like they're both just like all the Nintendo executives are just walking around like, what's going on in here?
Oh man, yeah. E3 this year I think is going to be a lot of fun. I need to make sure I go to maybe it's next year's E3. I got to make sure I go to whatever E3 they show off the next systems at.
Are you not coming this year?
No, I'm not coming this year.
Oh man,
this is gonna be my first year at E3. I'm upset that I'm not gonna see you, even though we live so much closer together than us going to E3.
You don't live that far from me or Sean, actually. Are you going to Too Many Games?
What's that?
It's a retro gaming convention that takes place at the end of June. It's in Oaks, PA. It's in Pennsylvania.
What's the date of that bet? It's called Too Many Games.
Yeah,
23rd through 26th or something like that.
Fun fact, I actually went to my local vintage video game store and they were like, oh my god, it's Austin John. And then they were like, oh, we had the completionist in here the other week. And I'm like, you think of me like that?
Yeah.
It's the 22nd through 24th.
Where I met the completionist at a convention. I was like, I'm a big fan of your work. I was like, oh, thanks, Dreamcast guy. I was like, oh my god, how do you know me? What? Like, you're the
22nd to the 24th,
it's
right?
a weekend. I can't do weekends.
Oh yeah. It's like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I think. Yeah. Yep. So we'll be there. We'll be there on Saturday. At least I'll be there Saturday. Sean will probably be there all week.
Yeah, I'll be there all weekend.
I might go, but man, my thing is, I have like an event every week. Obviously, we're dealing with E3. Then I'm doing a big convention the weekend after E3, and then that's the weekend after that. And I'm doing a big out-of-state convention at the beginning of July in Oklahoma. So we'll see.
All right, let's do some questions, and then we can close out. This one's from Rawgent Productions asking, you think Halo 6 will be saved for next generation, or is that this generation game? Congrats on 100K. Thank you. What do you guys think? Halo 6 this gen or next gen this year, maybe? It's been shown at E3.
I think originally it was planned to be next gen, and I think they're rushing it. I do think that because when there were all those interviews last year, and they kept being like, "Yeah, we have stuff in the works. There is a Halo 6 somewhere, but it's not very long." I think that we're going to see a Halo 6 trailer this year, and I think it's going to be out within the next fiscal year.
Yeah, I agree. They need a huge, well-known game as well as some new franchises.
I think Halo would do it. Yeah, like I would love if they could get that out this year, but I don't know. It might be next year. I think Halo 6 is coming out on the Xbox One though. I think it's gonna be maybe even Xbox One X enhanced and all that good stuff. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Matt?
I think you're going to see it at E3, and it will launch this November on the Xbox One.
Fair enough. Good. That's what I was hoping to hear.
I don't know if it's just me, but like I think about like the next generation between Xbox and Sony, and like what they're just gonna take the Pro models and make them the regular models.
No, because they're gonna change the CPU out, so I don't think you'll get that.
So they're just gonna make better, faster Xboxes and PlayStations.
Yeah, because the CPUs in these ones are just garbage. The ones that are in these systems are just not good.
They're outdated the day they came out.
Yeah, they're like junky laptop processors that struggle. That's why you see a lot of those, like you see those like comparisons and you see the frame rate is like bad for some games. It's not the GPU that's doing it. I'll say that. Like if you go look at Assassin's Creed Unity, it's it shows you right there what's going on. It's yeah. Whenever they jump up to the next generation, they're definitely going to jump up to something like we think a Zen processor that's much better. So that'll be fun whenever that does happen. 2020, I guess. We'll see. And from there, Brain Glick says, why was Metroid the Other M the best Metroid game? Who wants to weigh on why Metroid the Other M is the best Metroid game?
It's not a bad game.
I think they're just messing around.
That game, you know what? That game has a stigma about it because everyone is it. You know what? It's a perfect example. That game to the Wii is what ET is to the 2600. People are like, ET 2600, that's the worst game ever. Bullshit. It's not a bad game whatsoever. It actually has pretty good graphics for the 2600. It's just the character. The angry video game nerd is a character. And he created the stigma about the game. And then, of course,
Well, no, it existed way before him.
But he publicized it because it's not the word. The game was developed in what, 5-6 weeks. It's
3 weeks.
It's much better than many Atari 2600 games. Much better. The whole fact that you don't know what's going on, that's a product of the Atari 2600. You had no fucking idea what was going on in those games.
I think it's a trash game.
I
don't think it's worth the hate.
Yeah, Atari.
Yes, ET on the Atari is not a bad game.
I hate that it's just
every
one
single
screen.
person says it's the worst game ever.
They're wrong. They're absolutely wrong. How is it the worst game ever? It controls fine. The graphics for the Atari 2600 are decent enough graphics.
Can you do a Let's Play?
I would.
Do it.
I know what you do.
Won't.
You get the
Except that there is no ending. You can't beat the game. The second you do the last thing, you appear at the first thing again.
Yeah.
Hey, it has a better frame rate than WWE 2K, right?
Oh, true.
There you go. It's a better game than that. It's a better game than Virtual Highlight, Superman 64.
Superman 64.
Rings, man.
Yeah.
Did I say I bought that game as a kid and I spent an entire week playing it, being like, I think this is good. Like even as a little kid, I could this sucks. I don't know what to do. Like,
which one?
Superman 64.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Let me tell you my Superman.
I bought that the day it came out. I don't remember how I even had the money for it. And I played it for an entire week by myself, being like, I think I'm understanding it. And I just kept being like, I must be wrong. This is Superman. Because I'm a big Superman fan. I was like, this can't suck balls, but it did.
We moved to a new town when I was whenever that game came out, and there was a new Blockbuster. It was like my new Blockbuster, and my mom took me there, and I wanted Superman, and they didn't have it, and they were like, well, we could put you on a list. I was like, a list? And they were like, yeah, there's a couple other people who have been asking about this game, and we're taking a list. I had to wait 2 damn weeks to get my copy of that game, and I rented it when they finally got to my name on the list, and then I played that, and I was like, holy shit. It's just terrible. Absolutely terrible.
So wait. What's the best game out of the 3? Superman 64, E.T., Sonic 06.
Sonic 06.
I'd give it to Superman. As bad as Superman is, it functions, whereas I consider Sonic 06 non-functioning.
Yeah, but Sonic 06 is fun non-functioning. Superman is aggravating.
Dude, I hate Sonic 06.
You gotta fly through rings.
The fact that you get to the end and all of a sudden the girl kisses dead Sonic, that was so weird.
But dude, that's the one where you can do the standing front flip on the snowboard.
Yeah. I glitched through the ground. So there was a time where I got stuck for an hour playing Sonic 06 on PS3. And there was a time where you're supposed to grind down this bar. And for some reason, I just kept falling through the bar. And so I kept trying other stuff. That's what I was supposed to do. The game just decided, nah, screw you, Max.
The next question.
Hey, Dave. Notice how no one's saying ET.
The next one's from Wishbone saying, for Xbox Win Me Back for E3 2018 is Halo 6 with a VR headset option. I don't know. The Xbox One has no VR, though. I think that might be next gen if they do that. A new Conker's Bad Fur Day. Sure, sequel. Jet Set Radio Future.
Conker's Bad Fur Day wouldn't work in the world of 2018.
No, it would offend everyone.
It would.
And what if they get Rockstar's Midnight Club as an Xbox One exclusive?
Interesting.
They have Forza.
Though. Yeah, that's the only problem.
Well, it's definitely 10 years too late. I feel like they need to bring back Need for Speed Underground.
Yes.
I like Need for Speed
Yes.
Underground. I like Underground
Need for
2 a
Speed
lot.
Underground and Midnight Club. Like,
Yeah, those
that
were
was the
great.
heyday. You get to put all the vinyls on there.
Yeah,
But here's the thing
the
about
stupid
those
thing when
games.
you had to take a picture of your car for a magazine cover. Sorry, Sean.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
That's right out, boys. That's right out.
You're actually playing into my point. Is that culture has definitely changed. I mean, remember how many television shows there were about it? Pimp My Ride. You, of course, had the Fast and the Furious movies. Like, that culture is nowhere near as impactful, and it's sort of shifted away to different things. So I don't think
there's a huge street racing scene in Dallas, Texas. Huge. It's like a big problem here. And I go to some of their meetups sometimes. And the thing now is not pimping out your car. They call themselves sleepers. And the point is to have the most normal looking car that can go like 200 miles an hour. So, you know.
We have Will McConnell. This is a question actually for everybody. Will Pokemon on the Switch have a season pass?
Oh. If it does, I'm going to make a video being like, no, that's bullshit.
I think the bigger question is it going to be, and I'm sorry if my mic sounds like garbage, Google Chrome and Hangouts hates my microphone because I do a whole analog setup, so deal with it. Is it going to be a single $60 game or two $40 games? That's the first question.
It's going to be two $60 games.
Or two $60 games. Because think about it. Every single 3DS game has a $40 per game. Mm-hmm. Sun and Moon, $80 per game, and just summer version exclusive Pokemon. So they essentially have double the funding for every single game they put out. Are they going to do the same thing for the Switch? If so, then the whole idea of being AAA titles that don't get enough funding so that they do season pass isn't going to be a thing.
That's true. Yeah, that's good. I do think there'll be two $60 versions just because they know they can get it out of people.
Oh, 100%.
Just to be honest, they know they can get it, so why wouldn't they?
I'd buy them both.
Yeah, there you go. See?
Well, and I do think that a huge chunk of the Pokemon fan base probably only buys one game at the start anyways, so that's just a more upfront money. So instead of paying 60 each instead of 40 each.
I was honestly, when I was working the counter there, I was shocked at how many people come in and just drop $80 on both. I was honestly, they should have just made a double pack, to be honest, at one point and released it in stores because everywhere I saw they were selling them separately. They did do a double pack, I think, in Japan. Mm-hmm. I remember hearing about that, but like
in America, they did the Steelbook, Sun and Moon, and Ultra Sun, Ultra.
Yeah, but that was like easy to find? Like, could you just walk into stores and find it, or was that a pre-order thing?
No, that was like an Amazon 4-month ahead pre-order thing.
That's what I mean. Like they should have just done a bundle for everybody almost, because so many people came in and was just like, I'll get both Sun and Moon, just because I'm gonna get all the Pokemon because they couldn't put it into one game.
I think they did do like a bundle that included like a code for 200 Pokeballs or something. If it was like a double game, it was weird.
So would you guys rather have 2 games or 1 game with a season pass? And go around here. What do you think, Austin? 2 games or 1 game with a season pass?
The only difference between the 2 games is in particular Pokemon that swap out.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Which you can't really do that in a season pass. Essentially, that'd be buying Pokemon, and Nintendo is very against that. So if it were to be season pass, there'd be additional content. Which if it was an open world game and we got fucking Pokemon Breath of the Wild, 100%, $60 game, $20 season pass. No one would say no to that if you got
what the hell is that?
Nowhere. You clapped and your mic was like, I'm awake.
It was your cord, Austin. You moved your cord up and that cleaned it up.
I did. This is my headphone jack.
I don't know what happened, but you sound good now.
Okay, great. So thanks, Google Chrome.
So what do you think, Max? 2 games or 1 game with a season pass?
I don't want it to be 2 games, but I think it is going to be 2 games. I don't like the idea of Pokemon DLC honestly gets deep under my skin. I do not like the idea of that. Something about sectioning off areas, because I feel like they're going to purposely try and save the big, cool, legendary side quests and stuff for behind a DLC wall, and I hate the idea of that.
What do you think, Matt? Which way do you want to go on that?
2 games, no DLC. I don't see a reason to change the formula.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's the difference between the Switch and the 3DS? It's still a platform. It's make the 2 versions, give the customer options.
Yeah,
still
has basically you're gonna be able to trade back and forth just the same way, basically.
Exactly.
Communicate each other and everything. So
the season pass seems useless.
Makes sense. Makes sense. What happens if they do 2 versions and then they still do a season pass?
Then the Pokemon Company is evil.
There you go. All right, and we'll find out, right? We'll find out. Then I think they'll just do 2 versions. I feel like that's probably what most people would rather have. Give us all the content up front. What do you think, Sean? Are you gonna buy both? Are you gonna buy both of them, or are you just gonna buy one of them?
The thing of it is, I'd be surprised if I buy one of them. Let's be honest with you. I haven't played a Pokemon in years.
Real over here.
That's my thing too, right there. I'm 100% on board, Sean. My thing is, if they wow me, I will show up with money in hand. But if
Sean, it's a new Switch game, man. You're gonna get that itch and be like, everybody's playing this, man.
That's
hang on.
That's what is the requirement to wow you for a new Pokemon game?
Just as long as it's different. That's all I ask. Is as long as I'm not even going to say what, because Pokemon Company is such a creative studio. As long as they stun me with some facet of it, it's like whether it just be the setting super cool, or there's just some Pokemon that has like 16 nipples, like something that's really interesting, I'll get.
Well, Sun and Moon was different. They got rid of all the gyms. They got rid of how they do the games previously, and now it's something completely different in Sun and Moon. But that didn't wow you.
Because nobody told me that. That actually sounds awesome. Nobody told me that specifically.
There's all trailers. Do you watch any PokeTubers?
I did, but all were like, now we're in the deep grass.
I think you were even talking about, Max, at one point about the battle system possibly changing as well.
I would specifically like that, but every time I mention that, the Pokemon people told me to choke on a rock.
They can't change it. It's so advanced, and there's so many different levels of everything that they can't change it. They would literally be starting from scratch. But
that's what I want. As a horrible monster, I want them to change that.
They go play Pokken Tournament. You're good.
Oh.
Yeah.
I got bored. I got pretty bored.
I just want it to be visually better. That's the thing. I can't do it on the 3DS. I can't do it.
Don't give me no bullshit graphics. Oh, look, we cleaned it up a little bit. No, you can piss off. I'll come back to you next year when you release another version of this game.
I agree with Austin and Matt. I think it's going to be 2 games with no DLC and season pass. But I also agree with Max and Sean that I need to see the game first before I make any decisions on purchasing it, because I'm not a huge Pokemon fan in the first place.
Okay. Next question is actually for you, Max, from Dan Miller. As Max is going to review God of War, what is the hardest part of reviewing highly hyped games?
It's not hard, but I do keep myself in a bubble on purpose. I avoid a lot of trailers. The bigger the project, the more I keep myself in the dark. When it came to Dark Souls 3 or like Yakuza 6, these were really anticipated projects that the entire fan base was super boiling for. I make it a point not to go to their forums. I make it a point to avoid as much information as possible. That way I go in with no expectations. A lot of times I feel like games have a core hook, and I want to find that hook naturally. Is it the leveling system or the environments? So to me, it's about going in as blind as possible and experiencing it in the way that the developer intended.
That makes sense, especially now since a lot of reviews are already out there. You probably don't want to see what other people like.
I purposely have not been looking at any reviews or anything. I want to go in and figure it out and make fall into the problems and get killed by the bosses that they meant for me to be killed by.
Okay.
Fair.
Spoilers, the kid becomes the God of War.
That's actually what I think is going to happen, but I haven't looked at any spoilers. I do think that's how it's all going to end.
I don't know. Kratos better die. That's all I have to say.
Oh, man. Think of it like the Wolverine movie. They're basically making Wolverine.
Yeah.
Die during an orgy, and then I'll be happy.
I'm about to nut. It just explodes into dust.
That's going to die the way I lived.
Jerry the King Lawler, he just had a stroke, and today it was confirmed that the stroke was while he was having sex with his girlfriend.
There you go.
How old was he?
He's 69?
Okay.
Literally. Okay.
Well.
Cringe Lord has a question for everybody. Cringe Lord asks, what's the most you guys would pay for your favorite game of all time? Also, what is your favorite game of all time? But I guess what's the most you would pay for that game when it came out, I guess, in that time. So if it's like a 90s game, maybe it came out in 94, that day you go to the store, and what's the most you pay for it then?
I mean, if I knew how much it was going to change my life, I consider Final Fantasy VII my favorite game and the game that influenced me the most. I would have saved up $100 to buy that just because it has impacted me so much. And I've probably put 600 hours into Final Fantasy VII because I've beaten it so many times.
Only 100 for Final Fantasy VII?
I'm talking to the original PlayStation version because since then I'm saying $100 just because I've played the original and I've rebought it. I've spent over $100 on it now because I've bought all the different versions. But I'm just saying like upfront, I'm willing to pay $100 for it.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not a good judge of money because
you're cheap as hell.
I'm cheap as hell, but yet I bought a Spider-Man Web of Fire on this 32X for $300.
Man.
I bought this steaming pile of shit. Let me grab it real quick. A $5 game that I paid $126.
I remember that. That's the one that's a repro. Actually, I actually have the boards you can put those on.
Yeah, but it's red and it's officially licensed by Capcom.
That's what you tell yourself before you go to sleep at night. You're like, it's official.
Yep, that's literally what I do.
That's the one with the fire hazard thing on it, right?
That was such bullshit. They have to put that on. They're actually supposed to put that on all repros because it's not an officially licensed.
Because it runs at a higher voltage than what the Super Nintendo is supposed to run at.
Right.
Why? That's why. Like I said, I think I might even have a free one of those boards actually over here. I know I have the programmer.
I collect SNES repros now.
I've built those for quite a while actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab a couple of the other talking.
For me, I would spend over $100 each for Super Metroid or GoldenEye. Those are like two of my favorites.
I have spent quite a bit of money on the Mega Man X series, so I probably would have been okay buying X for $100. I mean, how much was it when it came out? Probably like $70 back in the day.
I think it was 80. I saw an old Toys R Us ad.
And I'm about to buy Mega Man X, and I'm about to buy the X collection again, the Legacy collection, so that they got me again, right?
Bastards.
Yeah, I know, right? I can't help it. It's gonna be awesome. I want that X collection. Although they kind of messed up with their Switch voucher stuff. What about Matt? What about you, man?
I guess I would spend $100 for Zelda: A Link to the Past.
That was my other one. That was my second one.
I mean, that game's as close to perfect as a game's ever gonna get.
Yep, that's actually my favorite Zelda game. Actually, people look at me confused sometimes when I say that.
All right, quick question. Think of the game you've dumped the most hours in. Would you pay $1 an hour for the game?
I have to calculate this. I have to double check. I spent 4,000 hours in Halo 3.
I've put 200 hours. I've put 250 hours into Fortnite, and I've paid $10.
I don't know if I would spend $4,000 on Halo 3. That's just online time, man. I did a lot of LAN play too. I might have honestly spent 4,500 hours in that game.
I put 200 hours into Final Fantasy 15 across all the DLC and online play and everything. I don't think I want to pay $200 for that.
Nah, I wouldn't.
Yeah, no way.
Because I put 600 hours into Fallout 4, and like, God damn, I mean, it had a crafting system. You got to build things. I enjoyed that a lot.
How did your mic go back to shit, by the way?
raise your arms up again.
No, wait, watch this. Austin, how much is that mic that you're on right now?
This is a $1,600 microphone.
Every penny.
Going through a $300 sound card.
Oh my god! Oh man, that's outstanding.
Which for recording, it sounds great. Do I still sound like shit?
It's like clicking a lot. Like it's like cutting in and out a lot. You know what I mean? Like rapidly, so it's stuttery. Let's see. We have.
I just want to show this up super fast. So since you're in love with Link to the Past, this is the sequel they did in Japan only to Link to the Past on Super Nintendo, called the Ancient Stone Tablets. It's actually 4 separate games in one because you played different days. It was on the satellite system. This weighs like 4 pounds. It's like a 4-pound game. It's super heavy.
I remember making a few of those. Those are using 3 of the 27 C322s.
Usually whatever that means. Yeah. So
those are 4 32 megabit chips. But the Super Nintendo, from what I remember, couldn't read that address line, so they had to use there's 7149 switcher in there, and that's how you'd hook them all up. And it would work.
Well, I love playing them.
Those 27 C322s are 16-bit chips, from what I remember. The Genesis can read those natively, but the Super Nintendo cannot, which is interesting. Let me see. Few more here. Logan asked if there's a chance of an opening in SpawnWave Media team, preferably in editing, possibly. Although Evan is currently going to be filling in for editing soon.
Editing for what? The videos?
Yeah. I need editors. NX Revolution. When do you guys think we see Monolith Soft's next project, and what are your hopes for it?
No idea.
Redfish.
Oh, okay.
Brand Swedish fish.
Those are good. Yeah.
When do you guys think Monolith Soft's next project will be? Is that you think it's going to be like I guess that'd be another maybe a Xenoblade HD for the Wii version or something?
No, Chronicles X needs a port.
That's the one you want, really? You don't want the one from the Wii?
No.
I do, 100%. I love
Interesting. A lot of people like that one more than all the ones I know.
It's the Monado! Shut up.
And that's what's great. The Monado's power. It's Rhyme time. I love all the Rhyme time memes.
Okay, so is there any other thoughts on Monolith Soft? I'll try to go through some of these other ones.
Well, they are working on a game, that we saw a concept art of it. So maybe next year we'll see something of it. I don't think we'll see it this year.
No, I don't think so either. I think that'll be next E3 type showing. Matt, did you play any of the Xenoblade games?
Yeah, I played the first one, X. I haven't played Chronicles 2 yet.
Okay. Chronicles 2 is pretty good. That's the one that I lost my save file for, so I don't but I liked it, and I did manage to finish it. I just did not get to do New Game Plus. So to play it again, to get New Game Plus, I had to play all the way back through it, like 100 hours or whatever.
Can you guys hear me now?
We can hear you.
Is it any better?
It is
super
better.
good.
Okay, I didn't do anything.
Okay, good.
I did look from my backup mic, and I don't know. If we did Skype like adults, I could figure this out.
Matt, I will say if you liked Chronicles X, I guess Chronicles 2 is a good game. I'd say it's worth the money, just for the amount of time you could put into it.
Yeah, I was reviewing too many games when the game came out, and it's just kind of fallen to the wayside.
Oh, sure. It's a long game. That's all I'm gonna say. It takes a while, but they've made a lot of updates recently that have fixed some of the things that aggravated me like crazy, like the map. You can actually skip the gotcha animation for summoning and everything now. It's much. There's a lot of quality of life stuff they added, which is good.
Actually, this podcast actually convinced me to get Xenoblade 2.
I remember that.
And yeah, I tried it on stream. I had record low numbers for a stream. I had 340 viewers over 2 hours.
It's good.
And I learned an important lesson that game is a sit on the couch and enjoy it yourself kind of game.
Yep. I would say so. Yeah. Also, there's a lot of people who don't want to watch it for spoilers as well, because there's
a lot of dialogue, cutscenes, all that stuff.
Yeah. A lot of like I was just sitting here just listening, and like it was talking. I didn't want to talk over it. I'm just like,
yeah, it's a game to play by yourself. It's like a callback to old school like single player RPG style games. Like it really reminded me of like the PS2 days when I was playing it, which is good. Like a Rogue Galaxy, maybe something like that. El Teresque Bay says, with Yokai Watch 4 coming this summer for Switch in Japan and Pokemon rumored to launch as well, do you think Switch will overtake PS4 in Japan? Yeah, I mean I think it's pretty clear. That'll probably happen. Might even happen by the end of this year, to be honest, if Pokemon comes out.
It would do that even without those two games.
Yeah, hasn't the Switch sales been like beating Xbox and PlayStation over the last?
PlayStation was 14,000 last week, and the Switch is averaging 40,000 a week.
So it was. Yeah.
It's
at the beginning of the year, it was the PS4 was really big because of Monster Hunter, but it seems the Monster Hunter effect has kind of ended. So now it's next week, actually, the Switch will pass it. Media creates. So I cover that every week. Next week, it'll pass it. And then probably because I think it's roughly 2.5 million.
Yeah, I think it's 4 million to 6.5.
Yeah, it's like that. So probably by the end of this year, we're looking at the Switch passing it in Japan. And at that point, all Japanese developers, if they haven't already, Level 5 pretty much said we're going all Switch as we see Yokai Watch 4. All their main stuff is going to also be on the Switch. You'll see a lot of Japanese developers. We assume Bandai Namco will also be there, probably with Dragon Ball Fighters at some point, and then some other stuff. But yeah, no, it'll overtake it by the end of the year, absolutely. And in Japan specifically is what I mean. Pedro Torres is a question for you, Austin. Do you think they'll continue support for Pokebank?
I actually messaged him in the chat when it came out, but 100% they're going to still support Pokebank. It's going to be the only way you can transfer your Pokemon from the 3DS to the Switch. Done.
Okay. Okay, easy enough. There you go. Good.
They're going to do just like they did that after you transfer it to the new generation, you can't transfer it back.
Does Pokebank cost money?
I think it's like $6 a year.
Okay.
Like it's something extremely reasonable.
Okay, all right, that's not bad. Yeah. What do you think? Oh, here's a good one. Daniel J asks, "What do you think Spider-Man will score?" I assume that's Metacritic.
99. I don't know.
I'm going to be semi-realistic with it. I'm going to say an 89.
I'm gonna say like 80 between 85 and 90.
I think because it's an open world game, it'll suffer from some of those standard side quest type criticisms. I think, but I think the game will get great marks for visuals, for animation and stuff like that. But I think it'll suffer from those. Oh, someone stole my purse. Go get them. You know,
that's exactly what I was thinking. It's gonna be like an old lady, be like, "Go get my purse," and then go and chase him down, get the purse. You need to do that 600 times.
Well,
I was going to say, I'm not expecting too much of that. My concern is that the story itself will be a little bit short. Keep in mind, like, I feel like people forget that Insomniac is actually a pretty dang small studio. That's kind of what they're known for, is being like the small guys who make AAA games. And this is by far their most ambitious project yet. So I'm afraid that the story is going to be like 9 hours or something.
Yeah, I think story length will be similar to probably to Sunset Overdrive.
Okay.
My concern is that they've already said they want to have a Peter Parker as just Peter Parker aspect of the game, and that could be very boring.
That could be like those stealth missions in the Incredible Hulk or whatever.
It might be one in every like 10 missions. Who knows? If somebody was saying earlier that they heard some interview where it's going to be like every third mission is a Peter Parker mission, but I cannot imagine that much.
No, if it goes like that way, I won't even try to predict the Metacritic based on we don't know the whole core of the game outside of we've seen him as Spider-Man swinging through a city and it looks cool, the combat looks cool. But if the Peter Parker stuff isn't interesting, or if it's just like go get Aunt May a loaf of bread, how about no? Then it's just going to become very mundane and it's going to become a very dull experience. I hated Sunset Overdrive. So I'm hoping Spider-Man stays very far away from that type of humor, that type of story concept.
But dude, the combat looks like the next evolution of like the Arkham City combat. Like it looks insane.
Oh yeah, combat looks smooth. It's quick, but the game needs something beyond that to be great.
Well, what I really hope they don't do in that game is do flashback scenes where this is where Peter Parker was, younger and he was doing his little thing. I hope they don't do that. That would ruin the game.
Like Uncharted 3 did or whatever. Your little kid Drake. Like, don't do that.
Yeah, I don't want that.
The last one's from Jason Murdoch asking if SpawnWave, you're going to buy the Japanese Mega Man X collection to get both carts physically. Yeah, they're going to do that thing like they did with Bayonetta, where if you order it in Japan, you get both carts. It's not just one cart with a voucher.
So stupid. What the hell?
Yeah,
you will get both carts?
Yes, apparently in the Japanese one, you get 2 carts, much like they did with Bayonetta, where if you ordered it through Bayonetta. Yeah. I don't know how I'm going to import it because PlayAsia has been acting up weird on Twitter. So
I don't want to support them.
I'm not really interested in them right now. So I need to figure out, although I do have 2 people apparently that have communicated with me that watch the show on YouTube that say that they would help me get it in Japan and have it imported. But I also need to see if maybe I can get it on Amazon Japan.
Bro, you're verified now. You can ask people and people will be like, yeah, no problem.
You can make things happen.
It's a great life. It's a great life.
Yeah, do my bidding. Yeah, that's I have the check mark. I have a check mark. Yeah. No, I'm gonna I'll see if I can get it on maybe Amazon Japan. Maybe that's where I can get it from. Because I know Sean, you even imported stuff from there, so pretty easily, right? You imported the physical version of I Am Setsuna. Is that what you got, or the Disgaea collection, or this guy?
No, it was I Am Setsuna, but I don't know where I bought that from.
Okay.
Well, there's also, remember, they just recently redid Amazon Japan, so you can actually access it in English and order stuff from Japan, because they knew that there was a big importing problem and people were having to make all sorts of weird relays. So purposely, Amazon has redone Amazon Japan, so United States people can actually order from there now, on purpose.
Shop in English, Amazon Japan.
Yeah, I think it was Amazon Japan where I got I Am Setsuna.
Yeah. They just recently made that so much easier because they knew that people like us, we do want to import stuff, and you have to jump through all these stupid hoops. So Amazon Japan.
Yeah, as long as I guess I don't have to. I wonder if all the dialogue would be in Japanese then.
Nope, it's in English.
Yeah, a lot of those games, when you buy them, the cart's in Japanese, and once you put it in, it sees that you're an American account, and it just puts the English words in. Because that's how I Am Setsuna was, right, Sean?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was all in English. So this is it the dual pack here?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, it should be a dual pack, yeah.
Okay, yeah, 1 and 2. God, I can't.
How much do they want for it?
The 5,000 yen, 5,940 yen.
Like $50.
50,000? It shouldn't be like 50,000, not 5,000 yen.
No, it's just 5,000.
No.
What's that come out to? It's
Yen to USD.
Yeah. What is that?
I think that's
4,000 Japan yen is similar to $40. So think of 1 yen as 1 cent.
Yeah, it's $55.
That's not bad. Not for both carts and everything in a nice little collection. Interesting. Guess what I'm ordering?
Same.
Although I think Capcom surprisingly might actually send me that game. So
yeah, but it's not going to have physical.
It will not. It will not.
Capcom sent me Ultra Street Fighter 2, and
I make fun of Capcom all the time. They shouldn't be sending me anything.
Right.
Oh man. That's all the questions though. Everything here. Let's go around to outros and we'll close out. I'm gonna start with Matt. Actually, Direct Feed Games. Check him out. Where can they find you there, Matt?
The easiest place is go to Twitter, where it's literally just Direct Feed Games. The YouTube link is a disaster. So,
is it? Or have you been able to rename it or anything?
Yeah, but at the time they didn't have just Direct Feed Games, so I did like something like Direct Feed Games YouTube channel, and it's way too long. I don't even remember what it actually is.
Okay, so go to Twitter and type in Direct Feed Games.
Yep, if you see a big check mark, that's me.
Yes, so go follow him there, and that should also lead to the YouTube account that he is currently doing. And you're coming up on 10,000 subs. It looks like soon too. So very good, very good. Make sure you check that out for 1080p 60 frames per second content for a lot of games that come out. You can see a lot of that comparisons and everything as well. And then we have, of course, Austin John Plays jumped in midway through. Where can they find you, Austin?
YouTube.com/Austin John Plays, and I'm one of the new Facebook gaming beta people. So fb.gg/Austin John Plays. I do live streaming on there Monday through Thursday, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to buy so much stuff on this Amazon Japan in English.
And he's the person you want to check out for Pokemon. So when Pokemon Switch comes out, and you got to know all the little hints and stuff, I'm gonna be watching him because he's gonna let me know how to play the game. Because literally, when I actually get the game, I'm gonna title my first stream "Old Man Attempts to Play Pokemon."
I'm going to cover that game.
If I can make one suggestion, something I would love, because I love your content a lot. If you would. I would love if you made a video that was called if you're starting here, like a beginner's guide to Pokemon when the new one comes out. Because I want somebody to who is an expert like you that's unrivaled to really break it down. Okay, this is what you need to know about this Pokemon in order to start Pokemon Switch.
Do I throw the potions at them to catch them? Or?
Yeah, exactly. A Pokeball, you say?
Yeah.
I mean, if you just play the first 45 minutes of any Pokemon game, it kind of explains all of it. I'll tell you what, I'll pick up the baton after that 45 minutes.
Okay. I don't know if there's going to be any new types because I only played Gen 1 and Gen 2. So I don't know
I was really into Silver.
So you know about Dark and Steel.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Great. That's half the battle. Now there's Fairy. That fucks everything up.
Oh, man.
Good. I don't know anything about Fairy. Wow.
Psychic is even weaker now.
Oh, okay.
Weaker? Oh, no, man.
Psychic and Ghost was a beast, man. What happened?
Mew is garbage. Mew is garbage.
Oh, no. My dreams.
What happened in Pokemon 2000? Right, he was a beast. Or no, I think that was just called Pokemon the movie back then.
Now there's this thing called Arceus. He's the god of all Pokemon, and there's these things called Mega Pokemon. So Charizard evolves in battle, and then he's more powerful than Mewtwo. But then also Mewtwo also Mega evolves, but it could go one of two ways. I'll make the video.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know anything about any of that. What the hell?
I feel like I'm just gonna turn the game on and just start crying right away.
Yeah, just why?
What about Sean over here? Sean, RGT, where can they find you, man?
You can find me at RGT85 on the interwebs. I just said hi in the chat. So we hit 93K subs tonight on the stream. That's
congrats.
Dope. Thank you.
What's happening at 100,000? You do anything fun?
Man, I got stuff coming up for 95,000, another thing, and then 100K. We're giving away a bunch of shit.
Sweet, man, sweet. And then the reinvigorated Dave, SuperMetalDave. Where can they find you, man?
Just go to Twitter at SMetalDave64. I do discussion-based videos on the latest news, rumors, and tech in the gaming industry. I'm a Nintendo fan and of all things gaming, so go check me out there. And I'm trying to do about 3 videos at least a week now, so
yes,
pretty good.
Back. Yes, leading into E3. Picked a good time to come back.
Yeah.
We're less than 2 months, I think now, right? Away from E3.
Yeah, we're having a good time.
Things are going to start getting picking up pretty quick here soon, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very exciting, very exciting. I think that's everybody. Oh, Max, yes, Dreamcast guy. Where can they find you, man? Sorry.
YouTube.com/Dreamcast guy. I'm about to break 95,000 subscribers. I'm trying to. My birthday is May 7th. I'm trying to hit 100,000 before my birthday. And when I break 100,000, I want to do a 24-hour live stream where I just find some crazy awesome game and maybe just play it and pull in fans and just do co-op and just really cut it up. Just have basically a 24-hour party on the channel.
Pokemon.
How do you do co-op on Dreamcast?
No, I think what I'll do is I'll get.
We can play Phantasy Star, man.
I'll probably do Fortnite.
Alien
because
Front.
on Fortnite, you can pull people into your party from any system. Like I'll make it where if on the Epic Games website, I can pull people from PC, PS4, Xbox, anything into a party. So I'll do that.
That'd be cool, man. That'd be cool. Who are we rating? I keep seeing people talk about it. I see a lot of names getting thrown around. I see Kazoo say James Clark. I don't know. Who are we rating? Yeah, there's direct feed games also. Make sure you check them out.
Is Nintendo K do anything?
Oh, I love Nintendo K. They just hit 17K.
Oh, cool.
But I don't think they're live right now.
Oh.
There's actually a guy I watch called Sir Randall Gaming who, he's a great guy, has great audio quality, like moi, obviously.
Yeah.
And,
excellent mics, too.
And, he streams, every day, and it only has, 3 people watching.
Oh, snap. Yeah.
Whoa, yeah, rate that guy.
Yeah, go ahead and drop that in. Kazoo, if you want to drop that one in as well. Austin, you're a mod. You can drop that right in the chat.
For some reason, I don't have a check mark.
What?
The check mark was removed.
What? Oh, hold on. Wait, type in the chat. I'll make sure you get it again. Hold on. I'll make sure you have the mod again.
Mod power.
You just unmod me?
No, I didn't unmod you. Here,
I had a wrench.
Do you? You do?
I had.
You should, right?
Don't have.
You should. Type in the Google.
Shit. I'm in theirs.
You're in the wrong chat, aren't you?
What? There he is.
Super.
Okay, so there's a couple of links there for you guys. Go ahead and stop by. Let them know who sent you. Hit their like button when you're there and leave some comments. Say hi.
Yeah, put them on trending.
Yeah, go help them out. That's there's 2 there. Kazoo put one up, and then Austin also put one up as well. So help them out. Show them some love. Let them know the SpawnCast sent you. SpawnWay sent you, and that's it for episode. I'm gonna pretend it's 54, but it's probably 53, right? Yeah, okay. It's 50 something, man. We're rolling along here. So that's gonna do it, guys, for Saturday night. We'll see you next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, where we'll do SpawnCast all over again, and we'll see you guys then.